What's up, Saucy? Good to see you. Sorry, music was really loud. My bad. Just getting set up. We're almost ready. I just finished my schedule. I fixed it. Oh no, plastic is here. Oh no. What's up, everybody? How are you? Good morning to you. Specifically, it is 11 a.m. my time. And that's actually the only time that matters. So good morning to you, son of a guns. I already know what everybody's going to say. We're like, it's like 6 p.m. where I live. Well, you know what? I don't live there. So take that. Take that, you big fat wieners. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. This is Critically Unjacked every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm super excited about this one. This one, all right, so everybody knows up front, I just came off of like a 12-hour sleepathon. At age 43, that is damn near impossible. And I did it. I did it anyway. I went to bed last night at 7:30 p.m. I did get up at I got up at like 11:30 in the evening, stayed up for like 3 hours and went back to bed and didn't get out of bed until 9:30. I'm not even embarrassed. Not even a little bit. Who do we got here? Nilo showed up at normal time at 9:50. So unfortunately we missed Nilo. If we're being like real, Nilo is first. But he was first by like an hour and 15 minutes ago. What's up, Plastic Rebel? Zach's here. Saucy's here. You guys know I love it when you guys show up. Are you guys? Nope. Nobody's saying it. Yo, Ola, right back at that. Skycore's here. Good to see you too. Everybody, can we all pig pile on plastic, please? Pig pile on plastic. Plastic, you're not even first. Why are you even here? You're a monster. Why am I VIP? Dude, it's because of those serious layups you were doing the other day. They were great. The Duck Lord is here too. What is going on? Dude, I'm embarrassed, man. You're seeing my studio without a throne behind me. Oh my God. I was not prepared for the Duck Lord to stop in. Yeah, absolutely. Massachusetts or death. What about New Hampshire? I feel like New Hampshire might be, or Connecticut. Honestly, I would say Connecticut outperforms Massachusetts. Only because that's where I'm from. Yo, what's up, Lolo? How you doing, man? Yeah, no, you're worried. It's good, plastic. It's good. We're still gonna pig pile on you though, so don't sweat that. You can finally watch it. Good, dude. You did a face reveal. I went to bed last night at 7:30, bro. Like I was super tired. I needed all the beauty sleep I could get. Did it work? Tell me it worked. Good morning, Don. How are you? You saw Plastic's face? Oh my God. Did you wash your eyes out with alcohol after or no? Nebraska Dad, I see you as well. Good to see everybody. I think like the first like 2 to 3 minutes is just welcoming everybody and saying good morning. How are you guys? is in the house. Oh, hell yeah, dude. We got everybody in here. I love it too. 70. No, I was just tired. You'll accept New Hampshire. I live in the seacoast of New Hampshire. It's an interesting place, but I'm born and raised just outside of New London, Connecticut. That's true. True story. Yeah, I can't believe you did a face reveal. What are you, some kind of like animal over there? Hey guys, this is Critically Unjacked, officially the first episode. This is going to go up on YouTube after. So this is how this works. I do Critically Unjacked live on Twitch at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I just slowed down so I didn't mess that up. And then after it's done, I'm going to edit it, maybe do some stuff to it. I have no idea. And then I'm going to put it up on my main channel on YouTube. From there, I'm going to take clippable moments and put them on Unjacked Clips. We're going to start that channel now. Now that I'm doing this channel, or this content rather, we'll be doing that. Let's see. Yeah, his eyes. My God, I can't believe you guys got to see Plastic. Are you guys okay? Is everybody okay? Does anybody need a therapist? Please tell me. I don't know if it's disability related or not, but I'm so glad you did a face reveal, dude. I only turn on my camera because my chat bought me pizza. Oh my God. This man can be bought. This man right here in my chat has a price. I like that. They say that every human being has a price. I know Plastics now. Pizza? I got you. That's $16.50 I'm going to spend. Oh my God. Welcome everybody. So good to have you guys. Man, I didn't think that guy would ever show his face. All right, let me shut the curtain so we can have a little privacy over here. I have a few things that I would like to talk about. Just a few, no big deal. We'll get a little judgmental over them and everything else. Hi, Lockable, good to see you. I do not have the chat up on the screen. So my YouTube audience and my audio only audience, I will try to be as clear as I can for what we're talking about. This is something I'm going to have to be a little bit more thoughtful on, is making sure that I explain to the audience that can't see the podcast. And because that's the other thing, I will be uploading this to all kinds of audio places, like wherever, like everywhere from like Spotify to like your mom's house. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want everybody to open up their ear holes and get this in there. That's all I want. That's all I want. As a reminder, I am live in the Discord, and I'm going to unmute now. And you guys will be able to come along with me. You guys can listen in right there from the Discord. You do not have to be on Twitch. You can also submit any submissions that you want that you think would be interesting for the show now or for the future. That will be in the submissions channel underneath Critically Unjacked. There's also a live chat there, so if you guys want to have a side conversation about the journey we're going on, and you don't want to be in the Twitch chat, you can do it over there too. I have a full section just for this this show right here over in my Discord. For those that are tuning in and can see me, exclamation mark Discord will get you that. My mom's house. Hey, maybe. Did you get that, Vin? Hey, baby, did you get that? Sorry. This is the best part about getting older, because mom jokes hit home just a little bit harder. Like when I was 16, I was like, dude, your mom. Everybody was like, yeah, right, you're right. When you're in your 40s and you're like, your mom, you're like, you better not come over tonight. I swear to God, you better not show up tonight. Yeah, no worries, Lockable. No worries at all. I want you to consume this content any way that you see fit. I do want to start off on kind of like a somber note. All right, so I figured this would be the great way to bring in some expectations and kind of lower them just a tad. But I want to talk about COVID just real quick. I would just kind of gloss over it if you guys don't mind. More of like a PSA, all right? More like a PSA. If we could do this, all right, if you will, and we've talked a lot about COVID before, but I would like to just point out that this is the US right here. What we're seeing right here is the US. Just in case, I want to get that title on there. So what we're doing is we're looking at the New York Times live feed of coronavirus in the US. We also have the world, and I just want to kind of just talk about coronavirus and a lot of things I've been seeing lately on Reddit, such as like leopards eating your face and people catching COVID only to die from it, and to find out later when everybody takes their Facebook posts and their Tumblr posts. And it always starts off with like, I'm not wearing those masks. You can't force me. Then it's coronavirus is fake. It's a hoax. And then it's everybody pray for Tommy. He just went onto a ventilator. Could have got the vaccine, chose not to, chose to ignore it, and dead. And I don't want that to happen to anybody in my audience. It's really important to me that you stay alive. I mean, it's important to me that everybody stays alive. But specifically, you're here right now, so this is focused towards you. Yeah, there's all kinds of leopards eating faces around here. We got to be very careful, guys. We got to be very careful. But anyway, for you that are not vaccinated here in the US specifically, I just wanted to show you guys cases are going up. And this is around the world, but I pulled the US just because that's where I'm at. These are all Deltas, and these are all unvaccinated people. I just want to plead with everybody here. Like, we don't have to beat this up. I'm not a scientist. I can't really go in on this. But like, I just want you to know, go get your vaccine. I'm fully vaxxed. My entire family is fully vaxxed. I want to make sure that you guys are fully vaxxed as well. Don't worry, this is not sponsored. But also, if you are fully vaxxed, keep your mask on. I put my mask back on 2 weeks ago. I don't go anywhere without it because masks may keep you safe from Delta, but it may not keep you safe from everything else. So please stay safe out there, guys. Hey, Z, thank you so much for the follow too. Yeah, metaphorical leopards, of course. Like, we don't have real leopards. That would be like animal abuse. All right, now switching topics, because this is just what I wanted to lead in with. By the way, if you guys have any comments or anything, feel free to dump it in the chat. I'm not looking at the live chat in the Discord as well. I will allow people to raise their hands and get on the stage, and we'll listen to those people as well. Once we go to panels, I will shut off the music, so that way you guys know that too. I'm calling PETA. No, please don't. Please do not. All right, let's jump over here to what I'm interested in. I wish I had a world map for this one, but I do not. Can I ask, just off the top of the head, how many cannabis supporters do I have here? I wonder, well, I have no idea if I have some non-supporters, but this is what the map of the US looks like right now. And this is kind of important because this is kind of, for prohibition, the US was like ground zero. So it started here in the US, and then like the US forced 160 countries to sign on that we hate marijuana as well. And it's only right that the movement starts here in the US and works its way out. But honestly, anybody can take the lead. I don't really care. I want legal weed like yesterday. So if anybody's wondering like, hey, where can you do things with marijuana? Well, I can tell you, you can't do it in Texas. I can also tell you can't do it in Idaho. We got a supporter right there. I like that. It's not affecting you yet, Lockable. I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to know, but I will say this. This will affect everybody at some point, whether it's direct or indirect, whether you pay for this as a taxpayer or you don't. This is something that a lot of people don't think about, especially as you become adults. Every person that we arrest, every person we pull over, every time we waste a resource on marijuana, incarceration, or anti-legalization, or anything really, you pay for that. Your parents pay for that. That money comes from somewhere, and it comes from the citizens. We pay for profit prisons to put marijuana people in there. And so again, this may not affect you, you feel like today, because you don't smoke it up. You're not Snoop Dogg. Why should you care? And I don't blame you. I do not blame you, honestly. But just know one day it's going to affect you big time. Never partaken in devil's lettuce. It's illegal in UK, and it should be legal. You know what? This is more of a medicine than it is a drug. Sure, it makes you feel good, which you should, right? Isn't that what medicine does anyway? You pay to go to prison, absolutely, because you have all the fines and everything. This helps keep poor people poor, and so I want to see these states that are colored black right now. I want them to turn green. For those that are listening in, green means it's good. Black means it's bad. We got about half of the United States here in black. That's probably less than that. Just Texas is really big, so it kind of skews it a little bit. But yeah, I think this is something that we should think about. This is something that we should be out here kind of promoting. Every time somebody goes to jail for marijuana, you pay for it. Instead of it going to schools, instead of it going to services that your community needs, it goes to prisons. That's right. Why? I would like to know, if you're not a supporter of cannabis, I would like to know. I won't beat you up or anything like that, but I would like to know why you are not. Why would you be willing to pay for somebody to go to prison for it? Why? I mean, maybe it hasn't hit you personally yet. Maybe your brother or sister or your cousin hasn't been to jail yet. Maybe you haven't seen lives ruined because somebody got pulled over with an eighth of pot in their car. Maybe, but I'd like to know what keeps you from supporting this. And if you don't support this, do you support alcohol and tobacco? Do you support nicotine and caffeine? Or do you draw the line at cannabis, and why would you? I would like to know. By the way, this is the first panel opportunity, so if anybody would like to go on air, so to speak, with me, we can get you in. We can get you in. I mean, it should definitely be medically legal, but I would argue this. If you have not tried cannabis, I don't want you legislating it, right? And that's a slippery slope, because I know people will be like, well, I haven't tried heroin to know it's bad, but this is not heroin. I would prefer, because nobody's ever died from it, so I think we can be safe to say that I would prefer people that have experience with it to legislate it. I don't want anybody that has never tried cannabis to legislate that on my behalf. No, it's like 30%. I think it's like 35%, if I'm not mistaken, that it's illegal. But yeah, that's true. Is pot a stimulant? Some are. Sativas are. Indica strains are more of a relaxing, pain-free experience. But if you wanted like energy and clarity and like maybe have your brain kind of like ready to go, almost a caffeine equivalent, you want to try a sativa or a sativa dominant plant. That escalated. Wait, what? That kills. No, please. Let's not escalate anything there. Please, no killing in my chat. Thank you. I'm never going to try it. Hey, that's fine. That's fine, man. I'm not here to convince you. I just don't want you legislating it on my behalf. If you don't want to try it, I do not want you legislating it. I don't even want you like arguing on behalf of me for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you should definitely try it before you write it off. But I would say this, it's not what you think it is. It is so funny watching people try pot for the first time, because they'll smoke it and they'll be like, wait, that's it? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, but I still have full control of everything. And I'm like, yeah, but it's funnier, right? And they're like, yeah, this is a lot funnier. And that's kind of the extent of it. Like, it's not like alcohol where you have a few beers, you're like, oh my God, let's go jump off a bridge, or let's go punch that guy. Did you hear what he just said to my wife? Like, I've never seen anybody end their careers or end their lives over some pot. That's true. Nobody's ever like gotten really high and gone out and just plowed down, all of Las Vegas or something. It's not good. Like, that kind of behavior is probably relegated more towards like hard drugs and stuff like that. And again, you guys can raise your hand. You guys can get on the panel here. Let me go ahead and show those requests just in case anybody does want to jump in. I'd love to hear from you. I think this is an interesting subject. I always put out my feelings on it, and everybody's probably like, dude, he's such a pothead. Like, no, that's not the case. I want common sense legislation. I literally pay almost $10,000 a year just for my property taxes to live here. The thought that even a portion of that goes to pay for people to go to prison for pot. Look at me alliterating over here. I am out of control today. Okay, if I can't be in the argument, then I won't. No, you can't. I want to hear what keeps you from supporting it. I would like to know what keeps you from supporting full legalization of cannabis. I just want to know. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Invite to speak. Invite to speak. Let's go ahead and pause the music. Hi, everybody. Let me go ahead and pause this. I'll welcome you onto the stage, of course. I look forward to hearing from you. I've already accepted. You guys can click the little green banner, and I'm going to turn you up right now. Here we go, so everybody can see you. Hi, Lockable. Welcome to the stage.
Hello.
What's going on? How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. So you can be in the argument, and I would like to hear what keeps you from supporting cannabis.
All right. So from legal for words, legal for like normal use of just everyday lives. That's what I'm gonna call it because I can't say words.
Okay.
For the use of that, it's like you're using something that could be used for medical use and that could benefit people who are actually like in need of like something like that, right, for medical use. So I'm thinking if you think you need it, then you should go to your doctor and talk about it because I don't think it should be used on a regular basis for
Okay.
people to just go out and do it and have it be a normal thing.
You know, I actually really like this thought process, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to go on like a 1 minute like soapbox here, and not against what you just said, because I like what you're saying. You're saying basically, hey, if it's medical, it should be medical only, and I can respect that, but I will argue one thing against this. The only reason we have a distinction between medical and recreational use is because the only way to get it fully legalized first was to convince people that it was a medicine, which I do firmly believe it is. We couldn't call it recreation because of the stigmas that were attached to it, like the DARE program, like, oh, you just want to go get high, right? But sometimes, and I'll tell you from personal experience, you can go and get a marijuana card. You can absolutely go and tell your doctor, I need this. They can concur. You go get a card and you can go to a dispensary and go get your stuff. Certain states, I would argue, put you on a list. These guys are driving around and they're medical marijuana patients, or these are the people that you should harass. You know, like some states have very small medical marijuana rolls, like only maybe 1,500 patients or something like that. And largely it's because people don't trust the government to not use that information to track them in a negative way. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people out there that could really use cannabis, whether it's CBD or THC, depending on which side that you need for your ailments or whatever it is. But you may not be ready to go on to a list organized by your governor, so you can be pulled over at random by state cops or cops in your local neighborhood just to kind of see what you got going on. You know what I mean? So medical was the guise that it was legalized under. But I want you guys to know there's literally absolutely no difference between medical or recreational marijuana or cannabis. I'd rather call it cannabis, but there's literally no difference. It's exactly the same bud. It's exactly the same THC. It's exactly the same CBD. There's no difference. Just we needed medical and we needed that term so we could legalize. All right, floor is yours. That's my soapbox.
Unjacked.
Yes. Hey,
Hello.
good morning, Fitz.
I didn't notice that I'd been accepted, so it took a while to come in.
That's okay.
Because didn't contribute. But when you were saying that there's no difference, I thought that I can't remember if it's the THC or CBD, which one's the narcotic type
THC.
version one.
THC is the
right?
psychedelic
Psychedelic,
molecule.
that's the word. Yeah, so I thought that if the product was grown with lower levels of that, then that would mean it was more of the medicinal variety, so that you're not getting so much of the psychedelic effects. Is that not right? You're just mostly getting the
Yeah, actually, can I explain
benefits.
how that works real quick?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so how the plant works, right? So for a lot of people, there are different strains of cannabis. Honestly, there's probably like 500 different strains and upwards, because every single day people are breeding them and crossing the different strains to create new strains. And so how you get CBD versus THC is, as the plant is grown, there's little white hairs called trichomes. And those trichomes, they contain the chemical or the molecule of THC. And when they're clear, they're immature. When they're at like its highest THC level, its pinnacle, you have little cloudy heads on them. So little white hairs turn cloudy. And then they go through a third stage, which they turn amber. And then the heads of the little trichomes pop off. They tend to age. So as they go into amber, the THC actually decreases and the CBD rises. So if you allow the harvest to go even further, you get way more CBD and almost no THC. So it comes from the same plant. It just depends when you harvest it. And that's what dictates whether you have CBD or THC. Now, each plant has almost 5,000 different cannabinoids in it. Some terpenes, which is the cannabinoid, like the function of what it does. So some terpenes will give you pain relief. Some will give you sleep. Like some will give you energy. Some will give you clarity. There's something for everybody, but not every strain has them, right? And they all burn off at different temperatures. I'm trying to give you a crash course here, but the same thing. Both CBD and THC come from the same exact plant. It's grown the same exact way, and yeah. All right, that's my. All right, now what?
Yeah, I think that was a perfect explanation. So it's the same plant. It just, the quality of the end result just purely depends on at what point it's harvested, and it's in its life cycle essentially. So I understand what you're saying there, and in terms of how I think it should be like used, if it's legal or not, people are still going to be growing it. But the people that consume the product, when it's legal, they've got certified growers that are going to be doing it to professional standards. Whereas if it's illegal, those people are still going to get hold of it somehow, but the standards aren't going to be as professional, or at least they won't be having to follow a certain guidelines in order to be licensed as a grower.
Yep.
So there's that kind of thing. If it's illegal, then there's none of this. Nothing to say that the people that are growing it when it's illegal aren't growing a great product and making everything great, but some of them might not be. Doesn't mean they've got any standards to follow so they can keep their job, kind of thing. They'll just be doing what they're doing illegally. So that's my thought, is that if it's legalized, so that the only people that can buy it need to go to actual shops in order to get it, then that's how I think everything should be. But I think even tobacco shouldn't be sold.
Yeah, no, that's a great argument.
Alcohol, yeah, alcohol's worse than cannabis,
definitely.
like you were saying.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And honestly, Fitz, just to just kind of say a little something on that is, I kind of would like all drugs to be legal, and I say that from a parent's point of view. Right. So I have 5 kids. I have a lot riding on this. Okay. So I need to make sure I get this right when I say it. I am a proponent, or I am for a proponent of legalizing all drugs. And the biggest reason why is because I would like the government to check that heroin, that cocaine, that meth, that whatever. Right. I want them to say, this is exactly what's in it. We have regulated it. We're going to make sure that your kid, they're going to do it anyway, right? And I'd rather my kid come home and take the right dose that they needed to get whatever it is, versus meeting him at the emergency room to have one of them pronounced dead. You know what I mean? Like, I need the government to check those drugs, get their taxes, whatever they need to do, and verify that my kid's not going to die from a dose. Right now, my kid can go to any festival, get an unregulated dose of drugs, and be dead within minutes. So I do appreciate that argument. I wasn't even thinking about that this morning, but Lockable, I'm going to give it to you. What do you got?
All right, so with your argument on saying that all drugs should be illegal, I firmly disagree, because I think from like an early stage of life throughout, like when you get to college, basically, maybe not college, but like high school, right? I
Yep.
feel like it should be told in schools how bad certain drugs can be, because if you're legalizing all of them, right, then like it can be just sold anywhere, basically, in like your local like Target or Walmart or whatever, right? And then it can be sold there, and then it like yes, it can be bought in like the doses that won't kill you, right?
Yep.
But it's like, what's stopping anyone from going to another store, just to buy more? You know what I mean?
Well, and that's something that regulators would have to, like, here's the thing though, like, if you're going to kill yourself, I guess you're going to do it anyway, right? You're going to find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I don't want people to take too many drugs, but after regulating it, like, you could go to one store and buy cigarettes, and you can go to the other store and buy cigarettes. I guess how you use them in your own home. Like, I agree. Education's key here. Like, if an undereducated society is a bad society.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely.
I agree. I do have a question from the audience that I'm going to read and then I'm going to answer.
All right.
Saucy Redeemed asked me anything. He says, have you ever smoked one whole marijuana? The answer to that is yes. Yes, I have. And if you have, how did you survive? Barely. I was laughing the entire time. I once knew a guy who smoked one whole marijuana and he's dead now. Jesus, dude. That marijuana was probably laced with some like fentanyl or something. I would just say, from a personal point of view, I have smoked a lot of marijuana in my life. Matter of fact, I just did it about an hour ago. And I didn't do it really for medical reasons. Did I? I mean, maybe I did to some degree. But honestly, all it does is give me clarity. I can think a lot more. It kind of straightens out my brain a little bit. And it allows me to laugh and just kind of open up the creative side of my brain. All right. Back to you, Lockable.
All right. So with your argument on like with that, right?
Yes.
So from a personal standpoint, and this is probably why I'm pretty against it, at least it being for regular I can't speak, but
No,
whatever.
that's okay.
So whatever. So with that, right, from a personal standpoint, I have like a neighbor that does it all the time in his backyard, and it like stinks every time I go out there, and it's like, at this point it's getting like excessive, because every time he's there, he's doing like some type of marijuana or like cigarette, right? So, and like I always go out there and like you smell it, right? And it's like, I don't like, from a community standpoint, I don't think it's a good thing, just because it's like, like it could really disturb some like younger children, especially. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I was pretty lucky as a kid, because my parents would just smoke right in front of us. Like my dad would sit in his living room and roll joints and just smoke them. It never really bothered me. In fact, I like the fact that my parents talked to me about it, at least a little bit, right? It's education is huge and something that we're missing quite a bit, not just in this topic, but in pretty much all topics, at least here in the US. I can't speak for other places. Lockable, you're in the US. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you have Dare in school? Just curious.
What do you mean, like
Do you know the
Truth
Dare
or
program?
or Dare program? No.
No. Okay. So I did. It was where cops would come into your classroom with a board and it'd have all the drugs stapled to it. And they'd say, see this board, kids? It'd be like, yeah, Officer Smith. And then they'd be like, this is bad. Don't you let me catch you on the streets with any of this. And everybody's like, oh okay.
Well, we had something similar to that, but like it wasn't specifically called Dare.
It's just, I
It's
don't know.
something else.
They took the time to tell us like how long we'd spend in jail versus taking the time to tell us like, hey, this drug does this to your endocrine system or something like that. You know, like instead of teaching somebody how this thing affects you, you walk around life just thinking it's super bad because we call it a drug.
Well, so with that, like I'm lucky that my school, like when we had something like that, it like taught us the right things, like what it actually does to your body, as
Oh, that's
like
good.
as like compared to this is bad and you shouldn't do this. Because I'm a firm believer, if you tell the kids like what it does to your body, like whether they understand it fully or not, it should be like the bad things that it does to your body should be told in a way that is bad, right? And the good, like the positive things that it does to your body should be told positively, right? That's what I think, because even if they don't understand fully, they can still like notice the body language and stuff like that, even if they're not fully like looking out for body language or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I like that. Lockable, thank you for that input. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna bring you off the stage. This is how it's gonna work. Just so everybody knows, I'm not beating up Lockable.
Yeah.
But other than having 50 people on the stage at once, I'm gonna allow people to come in, make their comments, and then I'll take them off the stage. It's not personal.
Alright.
I still love you guys, because
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I
stay
get-
on this topic for like hours or anything like that. I just want
Yeah,
to. I want to get
I thought
everybody's
that was-
input, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I thought that was how it's gonna be anyway. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Lockable. I appreciate you.
all right, you're welcome.
Fitz, do you have any more comments before I bring Saucy in?
Nope, I can be yeeted.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate your input.
No, thanks for the time.
Oh, no problem. Saucy, what is going on, my man? Hey, for anybody that doesn't know, Saucy is one of my right-hand mans right there. What's going on, dude? What's your thoughts?
I feel like legalization isn't necessarily the correct call when it comes to certain drugs. So the harder drugs you're mentioning, like heroin and stuff like that, I feel like legalization is probably the wrong way to go about it. I think decriminalization would be the best way to go. So you could open up, like Portugal did maybe a decade ago. They just decriminalized all drugs.
Yes, that's
So
Portugal,
what they could
right?
then do, yeah. So what they then did was open up all of these like centers where you could go and get your drugs tested, which I think is a much better option than legalizing drugs and having them available to be bought.
Yep.
So you can go buy your drugs from your shady bloke down a back alley and then go get it tested to see what's actually in it to make sure that it's safe. So they don't take the drugs from you.
Right. Can I rewind you just for a second? Because I do think there is a difference between decriminalization and legalizing it. Correct me if you think this is the wrong way. I think of legalizing it means keeping everything that's already been passed on the legislation, passing a bill that says, hey, everything's legal now. Everything before this has been superseded. Where decriminalization is repealing all of the laws that have been passed against something. What's the difference in your eyes? Just so I understand that and make sure I'm on the same page.
So my understanding of legalization would be that it's now taxable. So they can start taxing the sales on drugs. They're not going to proactively go after you or anything. Whereas decriminalization is more of, in my eyes, we're going to let you get away with it. We're going to provide you with support if you need it, but we're not going to make any money off of it. This is more of a social process to say, look, we understand that people have these problems where they're addicted to hardcore drugs, but we're not going to be making any money off of it because it's going to make it more readily available for your average Joe in the.
I understand this. Okay. I would rather them make money off of this, but not in the way that you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are companies, like cannabis companies in particular. I won't address like heroin companies or anything. That doesn't exist, obviously, unless you're talking about Afghanistan. But just you have businesses that do genetics, businesses that grow it, businesses that sell it. There has to be some kind of like business framework behind it, right? Companies aren't going to test your drugs for free, and if they're going to take a profit, then I think the United States or your country should also take a cut of that for taxes.
Yeah.
I believe in taxes. And I also believe that if you ever can pay taxes, then you should be very happy. The fact that you make enough money to pay taxes and put it back into your community should be a very exciting thing.
Yeah. See, I look at it like I'm not sure if it's the same in America, but in the UK, we have a class system for drugs. So you've got like
we do
class
too.
A's, which are like cocaine and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if cannabis is class B or class C.
Cannabis in the US is the highest category.
Well, it definitely shouldn't be in my eyes because it's been proven to be much less dangerous than the higher up drugs. So stuff like cannabis, in my opinion, legalize it absolutely because we've legalized more damaging drugs like alcohol and cigarettes. So those are more damaging than marijuana. Absolutely.
Yes.
Whereas you've got drugs like cocaine and stuff, which I think could be decriminalized, but not legalized. Because I think legalizing them and making them available to buy in your stores is a very poor choice. Because it is such a enhancing drug of your mood. And you're just not really the same person when you've had cocaine. You're a little bit excessive.
I have never, ever done cocaine, just for the record.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't want it legalized, but I could accept it being decriminalized.
I want it legalized.
A lot of stuff.
There's too many people making way too much money. We need to be taxing these guys. Like literally, dude, it's happening underneath our noses anyway.
Yeah.
And I really think we should take a cut and put it back into our education system, put it back into the community. There's so many different things we can do. And that's why I'm fully for legalization, because I want those taxes.
But at the same time, if you then legalize it, you're basically saying to the public, we're completely fine with you taking this, and it's on us if you have adverse health effects. So because if you legalize it, it's basically the government saying, in my eyes, we're fine, this is okay for you to do. And
I'm okay with that.
It's not taking into account the health crisis that will inevitably come when you have hundreds, if not thousands, of people who get addicted to the wrong drug.
I would argue that one, they were going to get addicted anyway. Two, they're already taking up our resources anyway. And three, like Portugal has had a lot of success. And for those that don't know, we have one state in particular, this one right here, Oregon. And they have also decriminalized all drugs. It's the first state in the United States to do it. It was a few months ago. They literally decriminalized all drugs. I would like to think that some kind of scientist and doctor panel weighed in on that. So as far as I know, Portugal and Oregon have completely decriminalized drugs with success. See, that's the other thing is all this stuff is illegal. So we have no way to pull studies from it, to do any kind of like medical research on it. And that's the other thing. We need more research because we're just going by anecdotal, evidence. That's it.
Absolutely. Like my main argument about all the health crisis and stuff would be that if you legalize it, more people are going to take it. But there's no evidence to back that up because we've never done it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, Saucy, hold on one second. I'm like really far with the chat, and I just want to say hi to everybody coming in. Internet Philosopher, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. We're just chatting about some cannabis, and I'm getting some kind of audience response here on the stage. Good to see you, though. Hello to everybody just coming in. You say businesses spawned me? Well, it worked. Let's see. I'm reading the chat, guys. Don't worry. I'm also trying to have a conversation. So I'm not going to be able to respond to every message, but I am reading them. So yeah, there's that. Cocaine is awesome. You should try it. I don't think so, man. Cocaine can make me overdose. I'm going to stay away from that. I'll stay on psychedelics, but I will not go to like cocaine or heroin or anything like that. So Plastic says I want it legalized in essence where it's controlled by hospitals and law enforcement. I worry about law enforcement, especially here in the US, because a lot of law enforcement is based on how many tickets they can get or how many people they can put in prisons. And, I feel like law enforcement, that particular aspect of drug enforcement actually has been, more of a cancer on our society than really a benefit. But I'm good with hospitals. I'm good with people that are actually professionals, you know, like I wouldn't want the medicine to be in the hands of big pharma either, because they have every incentive to hook people on it. No different than like big tobacco. I'm not sure who the right people are, but I'm going to let the doctors and the like, especially psychologists, since it hits brains way more than bodies. I would want more psychologists on that panel as well. So, but I agree. I don't want people to overdose either. I just want them to know what they're taking. There are super, yeah, there's a lot of that. Anyway, hold on. I just don't want law enforcement. Hey, Kelly, good to see you. Holy crap. I got a lot of the chat. Saucy, can I get some input while I'm reading the chat? Like, what do you think? Is this a good format? Yeah. Do you like this?
I like this format. Yeah, it's good. I need to keep an eye on the submissions channel though. I've been tagged in a few things about how cannabis is Class B in the UK. But even though it is Class B, a lot of police forces have come out and said that they're not even going to bother prosecuting or enforcing that law because it's just more time wasted, which I completely agree with. I think it's a bit of a waste of time to be prosecuting people for possession of drugs.
I just don't want my tax dollars going to it, man. It feels really bad.
Yeah. I just deal with it somewhere else.
Yeah, and I just noticed something he wrote. Cocaine is legal for medical use, by the way. And it's also used in a lot of different things. Remember, they used to make Coca-Cola with it. It's still used for like dilating your eyes in Lanacane format. There's Lanacane. There's like any kind of like creams or medicines that have cane derived from that same plant. Look at me. I'm like some kind of like, did I just go into like Hamilton Morris or something? Jesus. All of a sudden I know everything about drugs.
Drug guru.
Right. I promise you, I'm not an expert in this. I am not an expert. Anyway, guys, I hope you are enjoying this. This is actually a great conversation. I am reading the chat. You guys, please feel free to write in the chat. I may not respond to your message again, because I do have people on the panel, so I don't want to take away from that either. We'll wrap this up. We'll get last comments, of course. And Shorty, good to see you. Hello. Good morning to you.
Hey, Shorty.
Yeah, good to see everybody coming in here. I love this. Yeah, cocaine used to be prescribed by doctors. Absolutely. It was nothing for them to jump in that. Putting the co back in cocaine. Let's go, baby. Get on the train. No, listen, I want you guys to be smart on a serious note. Like when it comes to drugs, you need to know your shit before you put it in there. Like, I don't want people like showing up at raves and just doing Molly just because some guy in the third row is like, dude, you got to have this. Like, be smart about it. Right. You know, stay alive for the next gig. That's what I say.
I feel personally targeted by that comment, Unjacked.
Oh, my bad. Do you still have your glow bands on?
How did you know? I've got my like glow in the dark face paint and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I won't beat this horse to death. We're almost on the 1 hour mark, but do you have any last comments for the crew before we switch our subject here?
I don't actually. I'm good.
All right, that's fair. Well, thank you, Saucy. I appreciate your input.
No worries.
You guys can always join the stage again at any point in any of these conversations. I'll take you off for now, Saucy, but please feel free to jump in anytime you want.
No worries. See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Anybody can join in, by the way. I have no problems with that. If there are any last remarks, I just seen the internet philosopher come in. You're welcome to join the stage, of course. This is an interesting topic. I like to know where everybody stands on this. Doctors also used to never wash their hands. Absolutely. There's been so much as far as like medical innovations. Our scientific understanding on a lot of these compounds have come to like the next level at this point. Do you think guns and drugs should be treated similarly in terms of the law? Guns is kind of its own little beast. In my opinion, I firmly believe that guns are not an equivalency to drugs. I mean, as far as, I don't know. Like, I need to know more from that statement. Hey, what's up, internet philosopher? Good morning to you.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much. What do you got going on?
Just editing for a YouTube video.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So what's
Bit of a
your
pain in the ass.
what's your thoughts on all this?
Well, legalization, being, a progressive European, we don't know what you guys been dicking around with for the past 20 years, but, it's Norway is very regressive on this. They generally don't punish light drug offenses with prison sentences, but with fines. And you'll go to prison for the hard stuff, though. But we just had like a huge debate about decriminalizing it, where you would go into medical treatment if you were caught using drugs, basically. So you would get like an appointment with a counselor where you had to show up, and instead of the fine, you had to show up to this appointment and actually talk to the counselor. And if you didn't at that point, it would be like a punishable offense.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, I think it's a good solution overall.
I
It
think
got voted down for political reasons, unfortunately. But
well, just having a social system where you can, go in and talk to a professional and say, look, I have this problem and I wasn't trying to become addicted or whatever. Like, I feel like we use our obviously we use our prison system to the extreme, and people aren't being rehabilitated. They're not getting the help they need. They're just being locked in their cells, and they're saying, "Oh, no more for you. Good luck on that detox right there."
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. We have a very different system, luckily, but I think drug dealers, that's a police problem. Drug users is a healthcare problem.
Yeah, I do think it is a public issue that we need a social issue. We need professionals out there responding to these crises as well. There's too many videos out there on YouTube that people are just getting killed by cops because they're having a moment, they're having a breakdown. The cops think that their lives are in danger. And then you hear that, pop, 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 pop. And you're like, oh my God, somebody with a reasonable stance could have saved that life.
I think another thing that is kind of damaging is the misconception of anybody who does drugs are degenerates. I've done my fair share of partying in my day, and I'm getting a master's degree in economics. I would say that demands a certain structured person. Now, I don't do drugs currently, like I don't smoke weed or do any drugs really. Alcohol sparsely, but it's that's mostly for I need focus to do the things I can do. I can't use anything and keep a productive schedule. But I'm in no moral position to be pointing down at people.
No, I think that's fair. And I think that's more than a reasonable stance to have. I've really tried to reduce my judgment for people. The older I get, the more I understand plights that people go through, because I've gone through some of them myself. It's really hard to have a stance on divorce if you've never really been through a divorce yourself. It's really hard to understand what it's like to be a wounded veteran, because you went to Afghanistan or the Gulf War or Vietnam or something, unless you've really done it yourself. Now, am I suggesting that everybody should experience the same thing? No. But we should lean on those people that have those experiences more than we lean on the people that don't have those experiences.
Well, we do that already with good things, right?
Yeah.
You come to me for the money stuff because I have a vast experience of money stuff, where being an economist.
Yep.
Why aren't we listening to, the junkies when it comes to the drug problems?
Yeah, I agree. We bring in hackers after they've gone to jail and everything into the FBI because they're the best of the best.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's some industries we respect it and others we do not.
Yeah, and I do a lot of work with previous users, where I, through my charity and through my work, non-professional work, I am in contact with a lot of former drug users and some current ones, and they are all pretty clear, at least for here locally, that it isn't working as intended, having punishments for any of this stuff.
I agree. And I do agree with, there's a comment here that, as a Canadian, it's reduced so much harm, into society. And I agree. I live 3 hours south from the Canadian border and you just don't hear, the craziness like you hear in the United States over this stuff. Like, I feel like they've taken a pretty reasonable approach. Mexico also fully legalized, using the Supreme Court as a tool to do so. I don't know. I also feel like I'm disappointed in the generations that came before us. Now I know I'm a little bit older, so I'm between the boomers and like Gen X or whatever, Gen Z, and I just feel like the generations that came before us that set up the DARE program, that set up all this, this criminalization, really did us all a very big disservice. I'm disappointed in them, honestly, because we've all been sold like this false novel of what life really is.
Well, I don't know what it's like in the US, but from my understanding, the way I read history, it was mostly racially motivated, where it was just a way to put black people in prison, basically.
Yeah, there's so many stories that you can point to in the US.
Yeah.
One that really bothered me recently, I'll share the story. We'll wrap things up here, as far as this topic goes. But I was in the Philippines. I was watching TV, a TV patrol to be exact. This is 2017. And literally one of the stories was a cop shot a teenager because he had some bud on him. Literally, so basically, like, the kids were hanging out in the corner. One of the teenagers had like some bud on him, like not a very low amount, right? And the cop basically lured him into like this abandoned building and shot him in the corner so he could die. Like, and it was accepted by society that the cop did them a service, and not that this is outrageous. That right there blew my mind.
Well, in Thailand, the penalty for drug use is death.
Yes, also in
They
the
have a death
Philippines,
penalty
same.
for not just dealing, but using, like any.
Actually,
but
didn't Thailand just legalize or no?
No, I don't think so. It would be very weird or strange for them to go from death penalty to full legalization.
Actually,
But
you'd be surprised. Philippines has a medical program that's been trying to go through the Senate.
Yeah.
Their actual penalties it depends on who you are.
Norway's kind of interesting because if you come in with a prescription, you can do anything, right? So I can go to Denmark, which has medical legalized now, get a prescription from a Danish doctor, take as much as 3 months use with me, and declare it in customs in Norway and bring it in legally to the country.
Yeah. Okay. I was right. Let me just read this real quick. In January 2021, the government of Thailand laid down business guidelines for the use of cannabis and hemp for medicinal, food, cosmetic purposes. In December 2018, Thailand became the first country in Southeast Asia to legalize cannabis for medical purposes. Initially, only state-run hospitals. Here, I'll actually put this on the screen for those that would like to read with me. State-run hospitals were allowed to dispense CBD oil for patients undergoing chemotherapy and suffering from various chronic conditions. I believe that, let me see, Thai households can grow 6 pots of cannabis to supplement their income. So exactly. Going from death to this is kind of incredible, to be honest.
That's pretty liberal. I mean, in Spain, it's legal, and I think you're allowed to have 2 or 3 plants in your house. So it's basically just, enough for you.
And Thailand's one of those countries that I actually would like to retire to.
Yeah, I've considered it. I mean,
but I won't retire to any country that does not have legalization. There's no way I could do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, frankly, with me, I'm heavily investing for retirement already and looking to retire in my early 40s. And just traveling to a cheap part of the globe is definitely an option. I don't care much about drug use because I'm not, into that stuff. But it's definitely like you're a weed guy. You own a weed business. It would be very weird for you to move somewhere where basically running your business is illegal.
Yeah. No, I'm behind this. Let me see. Let's try to we'll try to wrap this up. Any final thoughts before I move on from the stage for a little bit?
No. I'm all good.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you chiming in on this. This is a very interesting topic. I didn't think anybody would be interested in it.
No, well, I mean, it's one that stir up some controversy every time for sure.
Yeah, no, I think so. I like these conversations. All right, man. I'm gonna put a pause on the stage so I can read through chat, and we'll move on to the next transition.
No worries.
Thanks,
See you
dude.
later.
Dude, this stage is so badass. I can't even explain it. Saucy says, or asks, speaking of employing people who know the system, would you say Frank Abagnale, did I say it right? Being hired by the FBI is one of the smartest moves ever. Yeah, isn't he like a world-class hacker, if I'm not mistaken? I'm sorry, I don't know the name off the top of my head. Let me look that up real quick, just so I'm on the same page. Boom. Let's see. Is an American fraudster, according to Abagnale. He began to con people and pass bad checks. Oh, is this what Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can? Is that what this is based on? It sounds like it. Kim Kardashian. She's got old. Yeah, I mean, I'm mixed about Kardashians. I mean, sometimes I feel like she's doing the right thing, and then other times I'm like, I think she's milking the system. We'll talk about corruption in law enforcement eventually. Eventually, sir. I saw your pick, by the way, Zach, and that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I won't pull it up right now, but yeah. Catch Me. Yeah. I kind of figured it was. As soon as I saw the little blurb in Google, I was like, wait a minute. I think I've read this story or watched this story before. Methadone program cannot be started once you are locked. Oh, really? That's awful. That is awful. The withdrawals are so bad. I actually went cold turkey after 4 years of being on morphine. I went cold turkey. It was the worst 2 months of my life. That withdrawal lasted up to a year. And the first 2 weeks, it felt like I had like fire going through my veins. I didn't sleep for the first week. The first week I decided I was done. I literally slept for like 4 hours for 7 days. The pain was unbelievable. That was almost 3 years ago. I have no regrets. I am so glad I am no longer on 60 milligrams of morphine every single day. That was some of the worst experiences of my life. It took away my brain cells. It took away a lot of my thinking power. And I can't believe I'm sharing this with you guys, but here we go. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Spiffy. And I appreciate you chiming in. That's definitely. Just so you know, we're done with the first hour and our first topic. This is something that we'll figure out how to make the episodes better. I want to improve this and just kind of see where this show can go. Thank you guys. I appreciate this participation, by the way. Some can do it, but the wrong. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Recidivism is such a problem. For 2 days. Yeah. Morphine. I mean, you just had it for 2 days. Like I said, I was taking it every single day for four years. It was the worst. But I went to the emergency room after breaking my bong, and the glass almost went through my hand because my dexterity was gone. I couldn't hold glass and stuff like that. And I knew from that point, I was like, yo, I got to get off of this stuff. Like I had gone to the emergency room twice in a matter of 2 months because I just couldn't hold things. And every time the glass was breaking and slicing my hand, on this thumb alone. So this entry point here, it looks like an S. You can't see it on camera. And then the side of my thumb, between this whole thing, 8 stitches over the course, 2 trips to the emergency room in 2 months. I'd never had stitches in my entire life until then. And that's when I knew I needed to walk away and find something else. Has been good so far? Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad you guys like this. This is what I want to do. I want to bring you guys the best possible show that I can possibly bring you. And I'm sorry, it's a boring overlay so far. You know, all I got is a logo up here. We got a nice studio background, but I will try to make improvements every single time that I do this. I still have to work on like the alerts and a lot of other stuff. But yeah, we're going to keep doing this. There's something else that I want to talk about. It's another chart. And I want to talk about diversity a little bit. And this one should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope that there's not going to be like a lot of animosity. But I'm doing another one. And it's this. Now, obviously, I don't have it for the world. I know a lot of you guys are like, this is too US centric. I promise I'm not trying to make it. I'm wondering how your country looks. I'm wondering how your neighborhood looks. I just found this on Reddit. I thought it was interesting and I was like, yo, I want to talk about it. This is the US and Canada broken up by Asian population. I would love it to have like all like ethnic groups, nationalities and all that. I just saw this and I was like, yo, that's kind of interesting. I would like to kind of go in just a little bit. Let me see. So the greener it is, the higher the Asian population, right? The greener it is. Red means there's nobody there. Now, I live right here in the old state of New Hampshire. That's right. Do you see how light my state is? Ontario is loaded with Asians, and New Hampshire and Maine, not so much. This is why my wife is having a little bit of trouble adjusting, I think. Just to be honest. My wife is from the Philippines, if you guys don't know that already. If some of you guys are new. And there is just not really a whole lot of people that look like my wife here. And I think I understand because when I lived in the Philippines, there wasn't a whole lot of white people there too. There's a fair amount, but it was weird, man, being one of the only white guys in like my area. I understand what my wife goes through now, at least to a small degree, right? Like, let's not make that equivalent, obviously, but I understand what it's like to miss home. And then I know what it's like to be the thumb in the crowd, you know? So there's that. Yeah, we're doing charts today, baby. Let's go. Hungover. You live in Vancouver? We have so many Chinese here. Most of Vancouver owned by investors. Totally can confirm. Really? I just thought this was interesting. Like, obviously, like half of my family is Asian. So I love it. But yeah, you're right, man. Look at this. BC is so green. The highest is Hawaii. You can see it's mega green, or also known as unjacked green, the dark style. And yeah, wow, Canada actually has quite a bit. Now, in Canada, is there a lot of like nurses and stuff like that come from East Asia? I bet you that plays a role into it too. A lot of doctors and a lot of nurses. Minnesota, that's weird. Yeah, look at Montana. Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota said, no, thank you. No, thank you. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But if you want to know what your Asian population's like in your state, yeah, here it is for you. There you go. Tons of Viet, Pinoy, and Koreans too. Yeah, there's probably a healthy mix for sure. You should go visit Zach. His percentage of Asians in his home country is probably very green. I would probably say it's neon green, if I was being honest. I don't have it by city, and I would assume, and I know this is really dangerous to assume, but I would assume all the metropolitan areas have most of the Asian people, the Asian population. They tend to live in bigger cities. They tend to work in like health management and stuff like that. I mean, obviously they have other careers too, but I do notice that a lot of them are in like the healthcare segment. Yeah. Show the percentages again. All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to show you guys these. I swear to God. There you go. There's the percentages right there. Hopefully you guys can read about that. It's all on the very bottom left corner of the border. I actually do. I could see that. I could 100% see that because right here, I would say this like area and then California, anywhere really on the West Coast, because that's where like the first plane lands, right? And you're like, yeah, this works out. And they're close to home. They can take a flight right back to Asia if they need to. Because let me tell you, living on this side of the US and having to do a 5-hour flight from Boston all the way to Seattle sucks. Literally sucks. Very many Indians go to, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's a level of racism in different segments of the U.S. I won't get into like racism or anything. That's not what this is about. I just thought it was kind of an interesting chart. And I was like, yo, I bet you some people would think that's interesting. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff, right? Interesting. Pen is so high. Actually, what is pen? Hold on. Pen, let me see. It's kind of like light color. So what is that? 4%. See, I don't ever really spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania, mostly because I guess I'd say a high percentage of Pennsylvanians are weird. So I haven't been there. I don't go there because of that. I guess they count as Asian. Yeah, absolutely. If you are like not European and like all the way to the right, like you're Asian. It doesn't really matter where you're from. Yo, what's up, Chrissy? Good to see you. Good morning, everybody coming into the stream. Welcome. We're talking about all kinds of things. We just talked about an hour of legalization. That was very interesting. Very interesting. I'll say that. Consider we're a high percentage of Spanish. Yeah. I wish I had a Spanish map for you. That would be pretty cool. All right. That's your chart for the day. Did I have anything else? We already did coronavirus. We did Frank Abigail there. We did Thailand. Was anybody surprised about the Thailand legalization, by the way? Okay, here's the question to the audience. How diverse is your country? I'm not even talking about Asians. I'd like to know how diverse your country or state. How diverse is the location you live in, and does diversity matter to you? I'd like to know. I was personally, oh no. Yeah, those Pennsylvanians, they're weird. Actually, Pennsylvania is gorgeous, by the way. If you like, there are some parts of the state that are just absolutely breathtaking. I wouldn't want to live there myself. It's definitely not a hot map, but I bet you if you're from there and you were raised there, it's probably like a great place to be. Yeah, California is super diverse. How many people here live in California? All right. In the meantime, while we're talking about diversity and we're setting up for like the next conversations, you guys can put thoughts and stuff in the submissions. If there's anything of interest that I think would be great for this episode, I will pull it up and we will talk about it. Just stay away from Philly. I've actually been to Philly. Philly's not that bad. Wait, non-white population. Hey, let's pull that up. Oh, shoot. How do I? Okay, I got it. Do I got it? Yeah, I got it. This is a submission from Saucy. This is the UK. The UK. Here we go. Regional ethics. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I gotcha. 2011 census. Thank you, Fitz. I appreciate that. India. Let's see. We're going to bring up India as well. Oh, this is a throwback for... Wow. Hold on. All right. We'll look at this too. We'll go through this real quick because we just talked about cannabis. This is India and the legality of cannabis in India. So legal is the blue spots. Illegal but unenforced is the yellow. And then decriminalizes this blue spot. Wow, you guys got such a weird breakup. I don't know anything about India. I'll be honest. I know nothing about it. And, but I do want to go there. I just want to eat all you guys' delicious food. That's it. Your thing is zoomed? Yes, I know. That is true. It's fairly diverse. I think it depends on who you talk to. I feel like. Yeah, I love it. Like when I'm around a diverse crowd, I think it's so good. This is why I love going to like festivals and stuff, because you just get like a little bit of every walk of life. I just think it's so good. So good. All right, let me show Saucy's contribution here. You can see the blacker the zone, the more densely populated it is, right? This is the census, 2011 census. And this is the non-white population. Non-white. This looks like London. I don't know the geography of the UK, so please forgive me for my ignorance. But you guys have very diverse pockets. That's awesome. That's literally awesome. Cool. I think it makes Oh, wait. Where is he?
I'm here.
Sir, I can't see you. Oh, what's up, dude? You want to talk to this piece?
Yeah. So all of the big black dots on the map with the higher percentages of big cities. So the biggest one in the southeast is London, and then you've got up just northwest of that is Birmingham, and then north of that is Manchester and Liverpool. And apart from that, it's really not very diverse. Like, I grew up west of Birmingham, and I genuinely didn't know a black person till I was about 17 or 18 years old. There
Wow.
was just nobody. The only person who I knew who was classed as non-white was my friend Samji, because he had an Indian father. And that was it. It's just completely no diversity unless you live in a city, really, in the UK. It's really bad for it.
That is crazy. I'm gonna say a story real quick too. I'm gonna tell a story real quick about the Philippines. So when I go to my wife's province, like where she grew up, white people don't go there. So they have not been exposed to white people. And some kids have never seen a white person except like on TV. They just don't. They live out in the middle of nowhere. Some houses are literal huts. They don't have TV. They don't have any of that stuff. They live by the ocean. Like somebody in the family goes fishing for dinner and so on. They don't even it's an old school community. So when I go there, all the kids come running out of the houses and they want like a minute with me because I'm so foreign and alien. And
They
like,
must think you're sick.
yeah, like I'll go have lunch or coffee with my mother-in-law. And all of a sudden, these people I've never met will just pop through the gate, be like, "Kumasta ka?" And you're like, "Oh, hey," right? That means hi, hello, how are you? And they just come over. And then my wife will be like, "I haven't seen that person in years." And then somebody starts laughing and say, "Yeah, because he's here." I'm famous only for my color. They don't want to know anything more about me. They just want to see if I'm see-through. That's it.
How is he so pale?
Yeah. How does he not get sun?
Do they not have sun in America?
Yeah, I know. I love it for him. I mean, I understand, like, if you've never seen somebody, and you do for the first time, I bet you'd be pretty wild. So, I don't know. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off if you were mid-story or anything. I just thought about that, and I was like, yo, that's kind of funny.
It's just so undiverse where I grew up, basically. Didn't know anybody.
I like diversity, man.
First time I met a proper, like, full black person was when I went to university. And that would have been because they came from, like, Birmingham.
Dude, that is bananas. When I went to high school, in my high school, there was only one black guy, but I went to school 45 minutes away from where I grew up. So like we had plenty of like diverse people in my city and stuff like that. This is all the states of India. Yeah. No, I can't do this. This is too much.
To be fair, we used to have a bit of a laugh about it at Sanji's expense because whenever the school wanted to take photos to make the school look much more diverse, he'd always get called out to go take a photo. Like, oh yes, let's get Sanji. He's Indian. Let's have him on the school website to make us look much more diverse than we actually are. And it's like, oh good God, poor Sam.
Dude, that is crazy. Literally crazy. I mean, I couldn't imagine being like the only kid in here, but like the only, diverse kid in the school. That'd be crazy for 4 years. Let's see what Gary pull up. This is Statistics of Canada. Immigration and diversity. It doesn't really tell me much though. This particular one. But it's very interesting. Diversity is kind of crazy. Yeah. All right. This is interesting. You guys do have a little bit of craziness there. Let's bring up the big one. By the way, I am digging you guys' submissions. Thank you so much for dropping these in here. I am looking at the entire thing. So you guys are welcome to share any thoughts you want. And again, if there's anything interesting, I'll put it up on the screen. We'll talk about it. If you want to be famous, move to the Philippines, Unjacked. More and more white guys go there. I think we're a dime a dozen at this point. We're not interesting. You can be. Like, I could easily become famous in the Philippines if I still live there. I'm sure. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I think I'm going to take like a 1 minute break, kind of stretch my legs. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half, and I'd like everybody to do the same thing. We'll do like a mid stream intermission, if you will. And In the meantime, if you guys would like to drop more submissions into the Discord, you can. I'll take 2 minutes. I'm going to go stretch my legs, refresh my attitude. And we'll come back and we'll do this. No, I do not want to learn any of the Indian languages, sir. After seeing that, you can keep your languages to yourself. In the meantime, if anybody would like to come onto the stage during this 2 minutes and just kind of talk, you're welcome. I'll trust Saucy here to make sure everybody's behaving.
I could do that.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about London, though, was that the population of London, it's only, I believe, like 60% white, at least in 2011. So it's really quite diverse population-wise in London compared to anywhere else in the UK.
Imagine needing approval to get into this stage. Not me.
Hey, Gary.
Not him. He's a mod.
My admins are running amok.
Catch me if you can.
I can't. I'm not good enough. All right, guys, I'm going to leave the stage to you guys. You have at least 2 minutes to entertain the audience. You guys think you can do it?
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you guys got it. This is the mod pod, right, Zach? This is the mod pod. Enjoy yourself. You guys talk about whatever you want.
Mod pod plus lockable.
Yeah, plus
Here.
lockable.
Mod pod and
Plus
lockable.
lockable.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a leg stretch.
So, Gary, tell me how diverse Canada is again.
So as you see from the graph,
I don't see the graph. Where's the graph? Okay.
As you see.
Wow,
you see
mate,
that,
15%. That's really not very diverse. What are you playing at, mate? Not on.
yeah, it's increasing throughout the years. So it's going from
Isn't
like
that? I mean,
8
that is
million where it's
projected,
currently
though.
at to like higher and higher numbers every
Wait,
year.
How many people live in Canada?
3 million, 30 million, I mean.
Okay, so
Something
hang on.
like
You
that.
just yeah, like 37 million. More people live in California than live in Canada.
Yeah, it's really bizarre considering how big it is.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to do.
Okay, can't
Right.
argue with that, can I?
It's just huge. There's just nothing there for the majority of it. Like
Yeah.
over 50% of your population live below Seattle.
Yeah,
Below
that's very
Seattle.
interesting.
Like they live in like literally just Toronto
Yeah, a lot of
and
people do live
Ottawa
in
and Montreal.
Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see if I can find it. I saw it somewhere that like most of its population live below this certain line.
I feel the U.S. is like probably one of the most diverse places.
One of the most what?
Be-
Sorry.
The U.S. I feel like that's like the most diverse.
I don't know.
Alright.
I'd say Europe.
You'd say Europe is the
Yeah.
most diverse
Yeah.
because, like, I feel like because I see a lot of diverse people around where I live, at least. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting to see that, like, we have all these different cultures around and all these different, like, shops and food stores and, like, different foods around here. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, but do you live in a city?
No, I live in a suburban, not like a suburban area, kind of. Not really a
Okay.
city.
Because I know it from personal experience that if you live in closer to cities or like large metropolitan areas,
Yeah,
diversity is a lot better.
Yeah, I live near a city. I live near New York, so
Okay.
yeah, so it's a lot more diverse than any other place, really.
There's the picture. Just uploading now the picture of what line most Canadians live south of. That's where I saw it. Reddit.
I'm looking at this picture that Spiffy put in, or sent me a link to. This is incredible. This is incredible. In Winnipeg, 43% are Filipino.
Move to Winnipeg.
I wish I had a picture of this for the U.S. I mean, obviously, I think Hawaii would probably have the largest Filipino population, but like This is very interesting. Hey, thank you, moms. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I think this is pretty amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, where
you
I
should
live, a
move to
lot of
Winnipeg.
people are South Asian, which honestly I don't see that often. I don't know.
Yeah, this is crazy. Nonfix says that I was late. Actually, no. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, the stream will now start at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Because I'm not going to do this for 4 hours. I think this show is worthy of 3, but not 4. Because we're doing a double show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're doing Unjacked After Dark in the evening. I moved the time schedule, so I also updated my schedule on my profile for Twitch. So everybody can see the new schedule and what it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
I can say though, in terms of the diversity scale that Sappa I think posted, it is quite accurate for Vancouver, since when I went there I saw a lot of Chinese people and a lot of South Asian people.
Yeah, I bet you the food in these areas are just absolutely outrageously good.
In my foreign food.
Do you guys dig Asian food, like different?
I love Asian food.
I love like Asian foods, Indian foods, anything like that. I really enjoy it, especially because like Indian foods, like a lot of them are like very like pretty spicy.
Oh
And
yeah.
I love spice. Like that's my thing.
As soon as I go to an Indian restaurant, the first thing I ask them is, "Do you have vindaloo?" And they're like, "Well, it's not on the menu, but yeah, we can make it for you.
But we can hook you up.
We have a pot. It's more for the chef than anybody else, but we could probably get you a bowl."
I
can see something.
I'm a big fan of foreign foods, unless you're talking about what the US do, because they butchered bacon.
Yeah.
I don't know how you manage to ruin bacon, but
Yeah.
I don't ruin bacon. I can tell you that much. Canada ruins bacon. It's just slices of ham. That's who ruins it.
Canada does not ruin bacon.
It's the worst. Canadian bacon, just call it ham. It's literally 3 letters. Just call it ham.
And Jack, what are you on about? Bacon in Canada is literally just like bacon that's normally bacon.
Yeah, now because you guys have been shamed into it to conform.
I think you got it wrong.
You haven't had real egg rolls, spring rolls until you've had one made by an Asian person. Yes. But just for clarification on that, please. As far as lumpia goes, it is classified as an egg roll, not quite a spring roll. And this white guy makes the best lumpia that you'll wrap your lips around. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Round slices of back bacon. What have you done, Gary?
That's a bannable offense. Oh God.
Slash ban. You're getting that slash ban up in here.
Hold on. No, there's no way that's bacon.
Well, I mean, I just Googled Canadian bacon, mate, and that is the first thing that came up.
I've never seen that in a Canadian store. That's a lie. Absolute lie.
Seen what?
The Canadian bacon. That is not what our bacon looks
Canadian
like.
bacon is like one of the most disappointing things that you can put on your pizza. When you find out and you get your pizza and it's pineapple and ham, you're just like, those goddamn Canadians again.
Pizza with pineapple on it is just a crime as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Dude, 50% of Canadians live south of this green line. For those that are not watching, I'm looking at an image of basically North America, and it's showing like an overwhelming amount of Canadians living in the US. That bothers me. That bothers me.
It's just that line, isn't it? Just to point out how small of the area they live in. It's weird.
Yeah, well, it lives south of the green line, which is all of the United States. This is why we need a wall. We got to keep these Canadians out of here.
The Canadians,
they're gonna bring your bacon. They're gonna bring our bacon into your country.
They're bringing our bacon quality down.
You should defend your bacon with your life.
Bacon. No,
the bacon wars of 2021.
It's all right. We'll just go up the river and burn the White House down again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Long live the Empire.
Yeah, all right.
I absolutely love this.
Ready.
We are just shitting on everybody as much as we possibly can. I like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I haven't had Canadian bacon in a long time. I did have a Hawaiian pizza, as we call it.
In fact, I think you mean the bacon, not Canadian bacon. It's just bacon.
Well,
You have this horrible thing in America, which is just streaky bacon.
Yes,
terrible.
very weird.
no, if you respect yourself, okay? There's like poor bacon and there's like elitism bacon. And if you have the extra $2, I highly recommend that you buy the thick slice with the peppered bacon, right? If you respect yourself, you want a thick peppered bacon. And it comes in like 3-pound packages, and those slices are like steaks, man. That's where you want to be.
Now that I think about it, a lot of things are I don't know what to call it, but like elitized, kind of. Like
Yep.
there's like an elitism scale. It's kind of says a lot. Like now
I found
that
a
even
picture.
bacon has an elitist scale.
It's not elitist. It's right and wrong. There's a big difference.
Well, sure. I suppose you could call it that.
Exhibitions.
Well, sure. He says.
Hey, can I interrupt this this little circle jerk here real quick? I want to I just saw this. Dr. Disrespect dropping a new image. It's on Twitter. I just put it on the screen. And it's just a folder
snap.
that says NDA. Oh no, man. That's a non-disclosure agreement right there. That cannot be good.
Dr. Disrespect going
Doc-
at it again?
Oh man, I don't know what this is about, but I want to know. I don't know.
I
He didn't
wanna
write
know.
anything. It just says today ... And I don't watch Dr. Disrespect, but I'm a huge fan of what he's doing.
Oh yeah, on the side note, did you notice that XQC got banned again?
And he's unbanned already, sir.
Really?
Yes,
Jesus.
you should not be watching the Olympics live on your stream.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Go to a deli, get your bacon. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Actually,
why
I
would
do
you-
agree with that. If you can go to your deli and get bacon, but a lot of places here in the U.S. actually don't have like delis like that. Some do. I guess most do, maybe, but a lot of people don't know that. Good call.
It's like why watch anything like why watch something that companies are trying to promote? You know, and just share it with the like world for free.
Unfortunately, there's too much money to be had. And these companies pay billions for rights to stream it or broadcast the Olympics.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's
like,
not right. We're supposed to be celebrating this as the world, right? We're celebrating our
Yeah.
finest athletes meeting in one location in the world. Shouldn't everybody see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like
it's free in the
these
UK.
these companies are just like they want to make that money back. Like thinking of it, like I'm gonna use pretty poor example for some people, but like when Microsoft bought like Minecraft, right? They're still making up that money from the billions of that they bought it for.
Absolutely.
They're
People
still
keep
making up that money.
putting money in their pocket.
Yeah, so it's like they're still making up that money, so they got to do it any way they can. If that's by doing some cheeky things to make people play their game or buy things on the game, they will. You know what I mean? Like they will. They'll manipulate you kind of
Yeah.
to buy things.
I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of things in modern society are being capitalized upon. Like drinking water in Africa is mostly, sold by like Nestle and stuff in
Yeah.
bottles.
Who took the war in the first place?
Yeah, and Skycore is right, by the way. The CEO of a company, if they are not responsibly a fiduciarily, which means they have to make the most money for their company, their stockholders, their stakeholders, anybody that they owe money to, their creditors. It is an obligation by capitalism that a company does not use morals and ethics, and they are only there to serve the greater good of the board and the investors. So oftentimes we do forget this. The problem lies in our government. Like, they wrote that into law so that way they could just lean on and be like, sorry guys, we didn't want to make those $10 billion last year, but we had no choice. It's the law.
Well, we did.
Yeah, I do agree with that. That is 100% correct. I didn't quite get my MBA, but I have taken quite a few business classes. And yes, money is number one, and especially in a capitalistic society like we have.
Yeah. Wait. You want to hear something very interesting?
I do want to hear something very interesting. Yes,
So,
please.
Right now, the man himself, Jeff Bezos, can literally, right, give $1 billion to everyone in the world right now, right? But that wouldn't change anything, right? That wouldn't change anything. The only thing that would it change is that the money cost, right?
Yeah, we'll just get inflated
the
again.
amount of money that like people really have, like the value of a dollar will go down if he does something like that. You know what I mean? So
Jeff
I guess
Bezos can't give $1 billion
Yeah.
to everyone in the world.
no, he can. He can give $1 billion to every.
Hold on, I'm doing the
everyone
math, Saucy. I'm doing it.
in the world.
He can afford to
He's
give $26.75 to each person in the world.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Yes.
yeah.
He's only
only
worth
worth
200.
$200.
He's worth $214 billion. There's 8 billion
might-
people in the world.
It might have been something in the U.S. then, because whatever.
Well, your point still stands. He could give
Yeah.
money to everybody in the world. It's just not
Yeah,
$1 billion.
Yeah, but I think because I heard it from somewhere, so I think I'm like hearing it wrong. It's probably in the U.S. or something like that. But still, the point stands that like with stuff like that, with inflation, like you can't just go you can't have everyone going on this get rich quick scheme because then inflation will happen and all that. So it's like the government is trying to make you poorer so they can have more money. You know what I mean? They're trying to make the money that you have less valuable so they get more of it.
Actually, so
yeah.
this is how it works, at least here in the US. All right. Like, honestly, it took me a lifetime to figure this out, but this is how it works. Companies, they get funded by billionaires, millionaires, wherever they get their funding, right? They become these giant powerhouses that make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. And then they hire lobbyists to go to Washington and write legislation on their behalf. The overwhelming majority of legislation we have in the US have been written by corporate lawyers to benefit them. And so there's no doubt in my mind how we have the people versus corporations here. But it's so good. We have such good propaganda that instead of fighting the corporations, poor people will pit themselves against each other and be like, Trump rocks. No way. Biden's the man. Hey, man, vote the Green Party. Like, honestly, we've had so much distraction and propaganda sold to us through legislation, through election cycles, through newspapers and big media. We now fight each other like it's a sport versus fixing our country and just acknowledging that rich people and corporations own us. That's the truth. It's probably the same in your country too. Don't think that blueprint hasn't been duplicated.
So to what Tiger said, it's just basic supply and demand. The supply of money goes up drastically, the value of that money is just going to drop down because everybody has it and it's not valuable anymore. It's like suddenly we found a planet made of diamonds. Price of diamonds is going to go down because there's literally infinite supplies of them on that planet that we have
Right.
access to.
But that's where your analogy sort of falls apart, is we're not just printing money and saying it's worth one. You trade goods for money, and the goods have an inherent value.
Yes, exactly, but what he was saying about Jeff Bezos giving everybody money.
Yeah, but it's not going to change the value of a dollar.
I mean, it's just, everybody will have
Really?
8 billion. It just means that it's going to take
It's-
longer to fleece it out of you.
No, it's
Yeah. the
It's not.
value of that $1 is gonna drop lower than $1. It's gonna be
Mm.
$1, but it's not gonna be $1 at the same
Yeah.
time.
It's
Well, I mean, if the more
well,
money you have in circulation, yes, in theory,
here's
the more
what we're
money.
talking. Here's what we're talking about. $1, right? It's yes, it's still gonna be $1, but it's not gonna be worth as much as a like 1990s dollar, right, or something like that. Like it's not gonna be worth as much today as it was decades ago. You know what I mean? Because all the inflation has made the past dollars more money, like worth more, because of inflation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
I
if
agree.
Jeff Bezos puts his money back into circulation, it's not inherently going to reduce the inner value of the dollar against, say, the pound, because that money is already still in circulation.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely a
It's-
mix.
it's
Like-
complicated because if like I don't know.
The whole reason
Because-
inflation exists is because they're printing more money than they remove from circulation every year.
Yeah, I feel like with inflation, like once it's back into like like if Jeff Bezos did give people money, right, it would be back into normal circulation. So I think like inflation would go up because everyone else has more money, right? So for everyone, inflation would be like a thing, and then it would just drop once that money's back in the government's hands
This is a very
or some
interesting.
rich person's hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think. I don't really think so, because just because one person is holding all that wealth doesn't mean it has an effect on the inherent value of the dollar. It's still
he just
there.
has a
It's
lot of
still
it.
money. He just has a lot of it. If he were to give, say, all of his money equally to everyone in America, the value of the dollar is not going to drop against other currencies around the world.
Just
The
think,
prices
yeah,
in
but-
America might go slightly up because everyone's like, well, everyone's got more money to spend. But the second that money is then out of circulation again from taxes, it will drop down to normal.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying
Right.
like the whole world. Like I'm not saying if he gives everyone in America money, the whole world's gonna be in a crisis of inflation. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying exactly basically what you just said. Like once that's like back in the government's hands, it's just gonna go back to normal basically because they need some way to get their money back to run the government and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Unjacked.
Yes.
This is kind of a little different than what we're talking about at the moment,
Okay.
but I want to hear your view about fan games. What do you think about them?
I'm sorry. Fan games.
Yes, fan games. Do you think
Can you give me an
be allowed-
example?
So, like, Pokemon Uranium, it came out a couple of years ago. It eventually got deleted by Nintendo because it was stealing their assets and stuff. What is, like, your view on fan games? Do you think they should be allowed, or do you think they should be not allowed?
I think our
That's an
copyright
interesting-
system is very broken. I feel, well, obviously we know that the media companies wrote the legislation. That's how we got DMCA. I think it's very unfair to lock people out of enjoying, art and then transcending it into something else just because a company won't make it. I don't know. Like, okay, it's a double-edged sword because you could go in and say, you can make a fan game. Then you can make you can take a Disney property and put freaking Nazis in it. And you see how Disney might not be comfortable with that?
Why? It's a fair representation of their company.
I'm not arguing that
Yeah.
point, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they may not appreciate that.
Yeah, I think because there's a fan game on Pokemon. It's called Pokemon Insurgents, and it's basically Pokemon, but every single Pokemon's type can be different because there's a different region of Pokemon. So basically, what it is there's this different region of Pokemon that
It's
are,
all right. We don't need to go into the weeds on this.
yeah, but
I
it's
get it. But
with that, it's still Pokemon, right? So it's still Pokemon at its core. It's just a different take on.
Yeah. But you don't have rights to those assets. And I do agree that Disney did break the DMCA. I want people to have fun with copyright stuff. I want people to have fun with music. It's a fine line, right? Because it's art and it's taste. And at the end of the day, if I come up with let's say I came up with Pokemon, right? Maybe I don't like your version of my thoughts, right? Like maybe you're Rule 34ing my Pokemon and I don't appreciate that. And then so now you're going to have to put morals and ethics on it. The whole thing's a mess. Honestly, I hate our copyright system. I don't know how to fix it. I am against fan games because I can't trust somebody to represent my ideas correctly.
Yeah, I think it should be going to the company and saying, "Hey, do you think our idea on let's say Pokemon again, right? Do you think our idea or take on Pokemon is good? Do you think this idea is good for Pokemon?"
So
But do
here
you
it
want
ties
them to be
into
the
another thing.
arbiters? I don't think you do.
So unjacked?
Yeah.
It's gonna tie into another thing with fan games because if you think about it, it's all about profit.
It is.
Like,
It is.
So if Nintendo realizes that by allowing said fan game, they're gonna lose profits because everybody is gonna go play the free fan game instead
Of
of buying
course.
the actual product of Nintendo, which they don't like, so they're obviously going to disallow it.
I'm not an expert here, so I mean, take my thoughts obviously with a grain of salt. Like, I don't know how you fix it, but I just know that, like, let's say Picasso was alive, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. Do you mind if I paint one exactly like that, but I'm gonna put dicks in mine? Like, I would imagine Picasso would be like, hey man, I'm flattered that you would want to, but I'd really appreciate that you did not. You know, it's
from his timeline, he'd probably look at it and go, absolutely, why didn't I think of putting dicks in it at the time? Like,
Shorty will buy that.
Works of art have got dicks in it.
You, sir, are a genius.
Like the statue of
I
David.
should give you my money.
That's got a massive dick on it.
Just remember, for every person that is reasonable and would absolutely do the right thing, there's like 10 people that will take full advantage of it and exploit it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And maybe that's why the DMCA laws are the way they are. I mean, I don't know. As an artist, I'd love to make, something different, not worse, but like better, or at least different. Like, I personally love listening to remixes that DJs do. Should that be underneath copyright? I don't think so. I think they should have their own copyright. If you transcend something, but again, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, man. Take my money. Here's my dick picture. Not the ones you were hoping, just the ones I painted. Don't worry, none of them are mine.
None of them are mine. Don't worry.
All right, guys. I'm gonna switch topics. I'm gonna clear the stage. We'll come back and talk a little bit more in a few.
All right, in a bit. Bye.
Peace out. I'll be listening.
That was good. I absolutely love this conversation. I think this freedom to put people on a stage and actually make them engage like this is so good. So good. Yeah, there you go. There's the link for the Discord if you need it. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome to Critically Unjacked. This is my new talk show that I'm going to do twice a week, starting at 10 or 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go for 3 hours or thereabouts. And then this show will be accessible in full on YouTube. And I'm so excited to bring you guys that. I think it's going to be great. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. I can't join the Discord. Everybody's got that. Yes, please jump into the Discord. Re-yoing to stream. Yeah, absolutely. You guys aren't going to take over my stream. I'll give you guys a few minutes on the stage, but we're not doing that. Nobody's taking over the stage, sir. Sir. When you guys steal your show back. No, listen, I want people to have a conversation. I welcome this type of feedback. And I would like to keep this going. And we'll refine it as the show develops and as we do this more. We're going to get a certain set of content that we talk about on a regular basis. I'm hoping to grow this on YouTube just as much as I am on Twitch. On Twitch, I don't expect to get a lot of followers. But once this start building content on YouTube and TikTok, I think more people will get familiar with our daily talk show. They'll want to be part of it live. They will start following offline and all that. So I have big thoughts about this. Absolutely. For those that don't know, I actually have 4 YouTube channels for the Unjacked brand. I have the main one, which is full episodes of podcasts. I have the clips for that. So Unjacked Clips will give you clips of the podcast. And then I have the Unjacked Archives, which is every stream that I've done on Twitch since like October 30th. Right. So I think there's almost like 200 shows on there. The third channel. Oh, no, that is the third channel. The fourth channel is Unjacked Gaming. And I go live sometimes playing games on there. I do put up videos on like Goose Goose Duck and stuff like that as well. Yep. The viewers will take over. I want this to be more of a conversation during the day, where Unjacked After Dark is more of a me being goofy, getting super high, super baked, having some naughty conversations if we choose to, and that kind of thing. So, the 2 shows are very different, but it gives me a little bit different. Anyway, yeah, if you guys are taking off, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you very much. And I always love the support of everybody here. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hope you guys have a great day no matter what. And we're going to keep pressing on with some of this content. One thing can I just take a few minutes and just kind of love Dr. Disrespect a little bit? Just a little bit. We're going to go back to showing the screen. Yeah, absolutely. Next stream's tomorrow. Next stream. I stream every single day, my friend. Every day. All you got to do is show up when I'm live. And it's also in my schedule. For anybody that's just tuning in, if you go over twitch.tv/unjacked and you look at my scheduled tab, you'll be able to see exactly when every one of my streams is. Just go check that. Yep. We are doing Unjacked After Dark tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing you then. You have no right to run your own stream. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But, something is just, I love it when it's mine. Let's talk about Dr. Disrespect, shall we? This is very interesting to me. Dr. Disrespect is, he's a character that was developed on Twitch by Guy Beam. There's an awesome documentary on YouTube for it. I don't have it off the top of my head, where you can see the history and like the development of Dr. Disrespect. At first, I thought it was just some kind of bullshit character that somebody was doing for some attention. But then I realized how cohesive the character is, the environment, the team that he has, like helping him bring this character to life. This is acting on a very high level. It is so good. How many people here watch Dr. Disrespect? He's not on my show or anything like that. So I just find it very interesting. And I'm wondering if there is room for more of these characters on Twitch going on the future. I'm surprised that nobody has broken through like Dr. Disrespect so far. But yeah, I think he's amazing. I don't watch because I don't watch a lot of gaming streams. I like streams that have more of a conversation piece to it. And I don't need to engage with the streamer. I could care less about like chatting or whatever. But I want streams that are more thought provoking. And that's what I tune in for, which is also kind of like what I'm trying to develop here. But Dr. Disrespect has a very beautiful idea. And I think it's flourishing over on YouTube. What's your opinions on him? Do you guys know? We still don't know why he was banned permanently on Twitch. But I'm wondering if we're going to find out today. This is kind of exciting. You'll learn about his character. It's an epic story. Literally. It is such an over-the-top bit. I fully agree with you. But is there anybody better than Guy Beam? Guy Beam is, he's 6'10", which means Dr. Disrespect obviously is 6'11" because of that hair. But like, I just think it's so well done. So well done. If you guys want to talk about Dr. Disrespect, I will let you onto the stage right now. We're bringing Lockable back on. You guys are welcome to join and tell me your opinions on the character, the idea of Dr. Disrespect, or even like is this a good blueprint for somebody just coming into the streaming world to maybe watch? I'd like to know more.
All right. His character, from what I know, is very interesting. Like, it's just very interesting on the way he's built it, and the fact that he was banned on Twitch, I think, just builds more to that, because right here, I think from the screenshot, what we're getting at is maybe the reason why he was banned. Maybe he's gonna like leak it and say why exactly he was banned on Twitch and
Yeah.
the reasons of the thought process. Because I think it's very weird that Twitch just didn't tell us, because like from a company standpoint, I don't think you want to like keep that a secret, and except if he did like something very disgusting, like, because I'm thinking like you want to know, you want to know like why this man got banned, so you don't do it yourself. You know
That
what I mean?
depends. Because if it opens you up to legal things, and get sued to death, like Twitch may
True.
not want to say it, because it might be something that Dr. Disrespect could literally sue them out of existence for. And Spiffy, he's right. I do believe the same thing. Jeff Leach said that he was flexing a Mixer offer to renegotiate his Twitch contract. And yeah, I do agree with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to renegotiate your contract, especially leveraging potential offers from competitors. So if that is, I think that could be a lawsuit if they banned him based on that. But I could be wrong.
But right here, it's either going to be that or like a whole new plot line here setting up right here with his character, because like he definitely, like, this would be a thing that people would be definitely theorizing about, because with like if you're showing like a document on it, like a screenshot of a document or something like that, right? It's gonna, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, like what's quote unquote inside that document, like what's gonna happen, because definitely like this right here is meaning like a different path for the character himself with what he's getting at here.
Yeah, I do. I was going to type it, but I'll just say it. It is for attention, guaranteed. When you are one of the biggest personalities on any platform, the last thing you want to do is not stir the pot, right? Because you have to keep building that interest. And that's why, like, in some cases, I think PewDiePie actually screws up on purpose. Like, you would think, like, well, why would somebody purposely drop the N-word by accident? Well, because every single media outlet is going to cover it. Sure, it makes you look disgusting. Sure, it makes you look really, really bad. But if it nets you a few extra million people subscribing to you, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these decisions are just so calculated. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's an auto email. I've never been banned, luckily, so I actually have no idea. But
it's a riding battle with this, honestly. Like, if you're a streamer, you want to be the top dog, right? You wanna be the one running the show. You want to be the one getting most of the viewers. And it's like with streaming, it's a competition, definitely. It's like it's in a sport, like it's a sport in a sense where you're trying to, like,
actually, I'm
give
still
something
mixed
new to
about
the
whether
table.
it's a competition or not. I think I used to think that way, and I think this year I've kind of changed my mind a little bit.
Why is that?
Well, if you look at the largest streamers or even the medium streamers, they all surround themselves with like a team, right? So usually it's like 4 or 5 streamers that always hang out with each other. Like, for instance, if you look on Twitch, you see the Austin Show, Ludwig, Hassan, Pokimane, Myth, like they all kind of hang out, right? Actually, 100 Thieves is probably the best embodiment of what I'm talking about. It's a business that's sponsored, and basically a bunch of content creators live there. They work with each other. They build content together. They're all rising together. Now it's a silo because it's only so many of them, right? But I feel like the days of getting to the top by yourself are over. Like PewDiePie was just the largest and fastest growing one. Shroud, Ninja, even Dr. Disrespect. And I feel like in order to get to the top today, it takes collaboration and not just an insane, like it was insanely lucky for most of the top streamers to get to where they are today because they were in the right place, right time. They had the right personality, and it took them to where they needed to go. But I think today it's much harder to make it on your own.
But think about this, right? With rap, I consider that pretty similar as a competition standpoint here, right? Because with at least pop culture, right, especially with like rap and all that, like you'll see people collaborating a lot, yeah. And it's like like think about this, like a whole radio station having all these artists on it is a collaboration if you really think about it, right? Like Dr. Dre signing Eminem, that's one thing. It's like he's collaborating with him, right? Like all that stuff. It's like you're collaborating with him, yeah, and you want to be the top dog at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So if you have to collaborate with people, you're gonna do it.
Oh, 100%. You have to collaborate. And again, with Spiffy's comment, since Among Us changed the meta, like everybody's playing together, right? There's always 10 people. There's always there's a group that play together. And this is kind of what I'm after, actually. We're starting to get into the territory of what I'm trying to develop into. Like everything that I do as far as content creation, I would like to collab. I want to put stakes with other people. It's the only way that I'm going to make it. I understand that me alone, just doing this by myself, is never going to take me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel like me and you have a very similar thought process as it is through content creation, because right now I'm starting to make YouTube videos a lot. Like I just posted my first serious video.
Yep.
Right. And it's crazy because I've taught myself to edit here, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's right now I'm trying to get to a place where I'm comfortable enough to where I can collaborate with some people and get some traction off of that and help what I'm thinking here is if I ever make it, right? If I ever make content creation a career for myself, I want to help those people that I've watched and I've listened to for all these years and just help them out, you know, if it's through collaborations or rating them via Twitch or something like that. I want to help them via with that, you know what I mean? For me, I don't really care about being the best or the best. I just want to be in a place where I can be myself and make all this content and also help others that deserve the traction that I may get.
When I first started last year, really doing this in February 2020, I just went on by myself. I didn't care about anybody else. If you rated me, thank you. Appreciate that. If I rated you, here you go. No big deal. I didn't collaborate with anybody. I didn't invite other streamers. And then I started building relationships with Guys TV and some other people. And and then I started actually goofing off in their stream and kind of networking and stuff like that. I found that collaboration was way more effective for me than just starting up my stream and playing balloons. That's what I used to do. I used to I'd be tired as all hell, come here with a coffee or a tea, and then I would just, boom, start the stream, play some balloons. Hey man, have a good one. And then I realized most of that content that I made really couldn't be used anywhere because I wasn't like embracing making content. I was just doing something mechanically and telling some jokes while I was doing it. But I never really treated the content to where it was. And so over the last, 6 months, really, especially, I've really tried to focus on that more. And then I want to teach other content creators that I think are good how to do it better, right? But I would say 95% of the people I've met on Twitch, their thought process isn't about making content. They just want to play a game and build an audience and hope for the best. And they ignore the meat of it. And that's what I'm trying to change. And I do think collaboration will force people into doing that. So then I met like Plastic Rebel. There's several people on Twitch that I, in particular do collaborate with time to time. So yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends that want to do content creation, I definitely want to like collaborate with them, just because like yes, they're my friends and whatever, right? But it's like if I'm making content with them, we can grow together and like we can build on each other's mistakes of content creation. Like I've made a good videos with one of my good friends, and it like hit that video for where he was at. He had like 13 subscribers. He still kind of he still does, right? But like it had like over 60 views, and like for that video alone was like crazy to think about that it got so many views. And it's like that's with with partnering with people and collaborating. I think that's how you're gonna grow, because definitely like my friend's a small content creator, but if I bring something to the table, like my skill in a certain game, like if I bring that to the table and entertain an audience, it's definitely gonna work and grow an audience for me and my friends. Definitely.
Yeah, and I do agree with you, Vaxon. Most people are not trying to make it big, and I fully agree. I respect that. For anybody that's just trying to do this as a hobby, then you should, right? I'm not really addressing those people though, and that's why I say 95% of the people aren't thinking about content creation, right? They're thinking about the mechanics, like, hey, I just got home from work, well, do 2 hours of ice road truckers or whatever it is, and move on with their lives, But I would say this. Can I add something to this conversation as well? And again, anybody can join in on this conversation. The Discord is open. Just letting everybody know. You are not owed collaborations. Remember that. Just because you're a streamer and you have 100 followers does not mean you are owed a collaboration. Collaborations must be earned. And I know this is a side note, not I'm not really addressing what you just said, but there are too many times that a new streamer that has 25 followers or just a couple hundred followers think that they're owed a collaboration and they have not proven themselves. A lot of times like Plastics putting together lobbies for like Goose Goose Duck and stuff like that, and I joined those lobbies. I don't mind like trying out a new streamer to see if they have what it takes, but I'm really bummed when somebody joins and the content just sucks, because it brings the entire collaboration down. And this is why it's very important to me that people prove themselves, that they're interesting, that they're into it, they're good to riff off of. Like you look at Saturday Night Live or something like that, like sketch comedy shows, Mad TV or whatever it is in your country. Having people that kind of like riff off each other and like kind of connect like a puzzle is really important. Like I can't just hang out with anybody. I need somebody that gets my jokes and I can like kind of like bounce off of them. And that's not a lot of people, unfortunately. It is not a lot of people.
You definitely need that synergy, and I think like if you're trying to make it big, feel like if your friends want to make content creation, I feel like you should do something with them. And it's like if you feel like they got what it takes, right? What it like to make a good video, right? And a good following. I definitely think like you should help them, because like with my friend, when we made that like one video, like it was like a montage or whatever of whatever game. We were like laughing and making jokes like while doing it, and it was fun. Definitely, like it was very fun, and I can see his effort put into every single video, like how much he loves doing it, and like goes as far as to like help me edit, you know, or like offer to help me with my videos. Like, so I feel like he is a like perfect example of someone who definitely deserves it just because he works hard with it. Whenever he makes a video, he works hard.
Which is good. You want somebody to show you that they're putting in what you're putting in. You know, it's really hard for me to show up to a collaboration when only 25% of the people are there, you know, ready to make some good content and stuff like that. And it's also, I will say this as well. It's also okay to decline a collaboration. If you don't think you have what it takes to bring like your best game or your best personality or whatever it is, it's okay to say no. Like sometimes I would say I've turned down a handful of opportunities to collab with somebody. But yeah, I really try to join collabs that my personality match with, that I have an opportunity to kind of like put my personality, my abilities on stage. If I feel like I'm not adding value and I'm just there for the mechanical purpose of playing, I will more likely than not say no. Just because I don't want to just be a number. I want to be part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing for me. So, all right, Lockable, I'm going to clear the stage again. We're going to, I'll have you come back. Of course, I'll call for the stage if anybody wants to join in, and we're going to move this train along. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me on again.
Of course. Let me see. Collabs are good. They allow for multiple. Yes, absolutely. Like being able to be shown in front of 15 other audiences when we're collabing on Goose Goose Duck, if we have a full lobby, is so valuable. To be on screen on 16 different streams with different viewpoints and different takes is epic. And it's not easy to get there. I mean, I've been busting my ass. I don't know, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like literally, if you guys have followed me, you know what I bring to the game. You know, I show up almost every single day. I've been doing this for a year and a half full time. Like, it's been really good. Yo, Skelly Cat, thank you so much for the prime. Appreciate that. 5 months in a row. You were unbelievable. What a beast. Yeah. And this guy's 40 followers, but he was playing Among Us with his other streamer, and now he has 13. Wait, what? He went from 40 followers and now has 13? Oh, he has 53 now. He got 13. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you could definitely add some followers. If you have the right vibe out there and you're in somebody's video. I mean, like, for instance, if everybody knows Tico from YouTube, Tiko, he put me in one of his videos. I think it had pretty close to 1 million views now. And I gained like 20 or 30 new followers from his audience because of that. That was pretty cool. That was Christmas Day, actually. Guys, let's just take a second here. I got to open up the door for Mr. Dorian. Mr. Dorian's super bored, my kitty cat. Let me go take care of him, and I'm going to use the restroom. So 30 second hiatus real quick. I'm going to use the restroom. If any of my admins want to go onto the stage and entertain, by all means, go ahead. 30-second break. Please stretch your legs. Okay, much better now. We are much better. Holy cow. Just say again, thank you for being here. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate you, of course. I am going to be doing Unjacked After Dark tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be 2 hours of more of an adult-driven conversation. It's a little bit later in the evening. It's got a cooler logo. Oh, I'm kidding. Both logos are pretty cool. So yeah, there's that. All right. We've covered content creation. We have just covered collabing with streamers and all kinds of stuff. We have just talked about cannabis legalization. We've talked about diversity. We've talked about COVID even. We've talked about all kinds of stuff so far. Can I get a temperature of the audience? How do you guys feel right now? Vaccine, I'm not even going to go into that topic. It's not even worth the time. Unfortunately, I won't even give it airtime. I am open to anything that has meaning and nothing less. Nothing less, good sir. I still appreciate it though. I want to give everybody just a fair warning. We have about 45 minutes left of the cast. And if you would like to get your content in, you can. You can just put it in the submissions channel on my Discord. You're doing amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shots were fired. Yeah, I will engage in meaningful conversations on this podcast and nothing less. Nothing less. Hey, Souls, good to see you. Welcome to everybody that's just coming in. If you're new here, this is Critically Unjacked. It's my new daytime talk show, and we will have panels for everybody if you want to join in on the conversation. I will usually pick between 3 to 5 topics that we can cover over the course of a 3-hour podcast. This will then be put up on YouTube for an archival purpose, and anybody can watch the full thing. I will always cut it up if there's any segments that really stand out above others, and then I'll put it on the Unjacked clips. So please make sure you check that out as well. Oh, Auburn's, thanks so much for the raid in here. Holy cow. Welcome, Raiders. Good to have you guys. Good to have you guys. Thank you so much. How was the stream? Hope it was well. You guys are coming into Critically Unjacked, my morning daytime. Hey, for everybody that's here, make sure you give Auburn a little bit of a follow there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Welcome. I'll take a moment to welcome everybody. I'm Unjacked. I'm a full-time streamer over here on Twitch. I am trying to engage more in the talk show and podcast arena than I have before. So this is my 3rd or 4th, I think, time being in this category. Anyways, so nice to see you, Auburn's. Hello. Hi, right back at you. You have a variety stream as well. Good. I am so glad to hear that. I'm going to come check out your stream too. So here's a follow right back at you. Wait a minute. I'm already following you. This is nice. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're talking about all kinds of things. And I am allowing people to jump onto the stage with me. And we are talking about big boy and big girl topics, of course. There's the Discord link. Thank you, Lockwell. I appreciate that. Do you have a podcast? I do. I have 3 podcasts. I have Tea with Unjacked, which is more of an interview podcast. I have Critically Unjacked, which is this one, where I allow people to come into the stage on the Discord. We talk about all kinds of things. And then we have Unjacked After Dark, which is more of an adult conversation at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I had a different username before. That makes way more sense because I was like, yo, I'm already following this person. What's this? What's going on here? Anyway, welcome everybody. It's so good to have you guys. We just talked about diversity. We just talked about COVID a little bit. We just spoke about cannabis a little bit. We talked about content creators and collaborations and all kinds of stuff. And if you guys have any input, I have a submissions channel on my Discord, and anybody's welcome to put in topics. And if they're of interest, I think, to the larger majority here, I do bring them on. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. So welcome. Please, everybody have a seat. Enjoy yourself. And we have about 40 minutes left of the cast. If there's anything in particular you'd like to either ask me, if there's anything you would like to talk about, if you guys want to come into the stage and have a conversation about something in particular, let me know. Drop it in the chat. All right. Moving on from that, I do use Reddit quite a bit for this. I like to see kind of like what's on everybody's hot topics. How many fans of Reddit do I have in here? And how many enemies of Reddit do I have? Actually, that's the more interesting question. if you don't like Reddit, where do you get your news? Actually, that's the question. Where do you get your news from? Where do you soak up most of your information? Look, yeah, what's up, Gingerly? Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I love Reddit too. I am a huge fan of Reddit, but I also take it with a grain of salt because I understand that it's an echo chamber. For anybody that doesn't know what I mean, this is my Reddit. There's all kinds of things in here. We have everything from a DIY stream deck. So, Twitch, leopards ate my face, all kinds of stuff. But I don't have an account, mainly use Reddit as an FAQ. I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah, I think it's the way to do it. Yeah, Reddit is cool. Where do you get your news then? If you're not logging into Reddit, where are you getting your news from? From many sources, all the major network apps. Okay. All right. I mean, that's fair as long as you're like cross-checking a lot of these stories and kind of see where they're coming from. I think that's pretty good. Excuse me. Twitter, YouTube. I think Twitter, I don't use that much. Actually, I don't really use any of that. YouTube, it depends. It depends on YouTube. I usually do not get my news from YouTube if I can help it. Local news. All right. That's fair. I actually have not seen local news since 2008. That is crazy. I use TikTok just to see hot chicks, I think. Isn't that what everybody does? No, I'm kidding. TikTok is a weird one for me. I'm still trying to see what kind of value it brings to my life. But every time I log into it, it's just ladies dancing. And it's interesting. I need to find more TikTokers that I relate with. To know exactly what I need answered. Yeah, well, the comment section of Reddit really kind of brings it out, News channel on YouTube. Yeah, I do too. I usually watch either YouTube or Twitch, and then I read Reddit, and then all of the websites that are kind of like aggregated through Reddit. Not to self-promote or anything. Hey, I have a TikTok too. We all do, right? What kind of stuff do you do, Auburn, on your TikTok? I'm curious. For me, I put gaming highlights on TikTok. Anything that I think are funny. What do you guys put on TikTok? All right. In the meantime, yeah, I get my news from just a few sources. So there's that. Hey, Nikki, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. News is very tricky to get these days. And I feel like if you pick the wrong source, everybody just thinks you're an idiot. And I really don't want anybody to think I'm an idiot. But yeah, TikTok will give you what you watch longer. I don't really see. This is the thing. I don't think TikTok has actually built a profile on me yet because I don't actually like go through the home screen. So I think I just have like a lot of like general stuff. And I think once they realize I'm not swiping on the hot chicks, maybe I won't get them as much, or maybe that is why I'm getting them. I don't know, man. I don't really know TikTok yet. I only use it on the desktop so I can upload stuff, but I don't like sort through the stream yet like you would on Facebook or anything like that. That's another question. What's your favorite social media to use? Does everybody have like their own thing? Fairy tale conspiracies? Oh, that actually sounds interesting. What kind of fairy tale conspiracies would you have? That's interesting. I might have to check that out. Use Facebook. I do not use Facebook. I hate Facebook with a passion. I do manage some groups on there. It's the only reason why I continue to keep my profile on there. TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch are my favorite. I would like to know from everybody in here, which do you rely on the most to engage with? When I'm not banned for 30 days, what are you doing, sir? Are you putting pictures of weird things on there? Her theories are unbelievable. Hey, sometimes that's a good thing though, right? Keep people from falling for it, if you will. Anyway, yeah. Twitch is probably my go-to. Usually if there's somebody that there's a lot of times at night, like I follow a lot of people, but they're always playing stuff that I don't want to see or something like that. So I don't go to a lot of people's streams, but there's still like a good amount of content on Twitch that I can kind of dive into. But I'm more into the podcast, the conversation and that kind of thing, or role playing. Like I'm big into role playing on Twitch. GTA role play is huge for me. I like kind of getting lost into a story if I can. But I usually don't show up to people's streams if they're like just playing like Goose Goose Duck or something like that. Like I play it all the time. It's very rare that I want to go and hang out after my stream. I mean, it depends if I'm playing or not. I don't know. I guess it depends what mood I'm in. I shouldn't just say never because that's not true. Memes, yeah. My Facebook stream is full of memes. So I just scroll right past it and then there's usually nothing left. If I don't see like posts that are more personalized, like, hey guys, I went pumpkin picking today or something like that, usually I'll skip right by it. After 5,000 ads to a private meme group. Yeah, I can imagine that. And Facebook groups, I will agree that Facebook groups are the best way to advertise yourself, bar none. Like I have a podcast group that has over 3,000 members of it, and I can use it. Like if I told people about this podcast on that group, they would totally come here and watch. Guaranteed it. Totally agree. But I don't self-promote. That's one thing I don't do. I do not self-promote my groups because it's one of my number one rules. News on social media is just so iffy because they come from weird sources and stuff like that. So it's something I really hesitate to use. Yeah, most people don't even read the article. That's probably one of the number one comments. Be like, bro, did you even read the article? And the answer is like, no, I'm just a title junkie. That's all I am. It's all right, dude. I won't read the full one, but I do read most of it, just so you know. Dubai launching a drone to produce rain? No, I think a lot of places are trying to control the weather, especially with global warming happening and stuff like that. There's a lot of droughts. Like Washington State here in the US has had like a 3-month drought. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And again, if you guys want to submit specific stories, you can do it right in the submissions channel on my Discord. And I will pick and choose some of the most interesting topics that we can cover. And but I would love to go into like weather, any kind of like weather manipulation or anything like that. I would love to go through that in a future episode for sure. Man, there's so many like good topics to choose from. It's so hard to get them all, you know? Yes, anybody can go to the stage and raise your hand and I will allow you. No, if you want to voice your opinion, I will let the people talk. All right. The only thing I ask is please have a decent mic. If you're going to bother getting on the stage to talk to my audience, just have a little bit of respect and have decent audio. That's the only thing I'm asking. I have them in a war zone. Harp in Alaska. Oh, Harp in Alaska. That's an interesting one too. We can always talk about that. Like I have friends that work actively at Area 51. I have friends that used to work at Area 51. Like I actually know quite a bit of shit. So we can always go into those subjects too. I worked at the Starfire optical range. So like I've searched with other doctors and scientists for galaxies and all that kind of stuff as well. All right, no worries. All right, guys, I'm gonna open up the panel. We got Lockable Tiger in here, and of course, anybody here in the audience, if you have some input on social media, I'll let the panel. The panel will adjourn for about 5 minutes. Here we go. I'm gonna bring on Lockable Tiger, and we'll see what everybody's got to say. Of course. And just so you guys know, tomorrow we're going to play Goose Goose Duck, just so everybody can put that on their schedule. And please take a moment, look at my schedule. I did update it. Finally, it took me a year to update it here on Twitch, and you can go and take a look at that as well. So there you are. Absolutely. Lockable, what's going on, dude?
I'm back. I totally brain farted. What were we talking about mainly?
What is your favorite social media? Where do you get your social media news, and is it valuable to you?
Yeah, so mostly I get it from like Twitch and YouTube. Most of it's like from YouTube. Most of it's from like people like on Reddit and stuff like that. So I think some of it is like most of it that I watch is pretty valuable because I actually I watch things that I think are valuable to me and actually worth my time, and
Agreed.
I actually go into it and make sure that I'm not given false information. most of the time.
I am always so nervous about giving false information. That is literally
Yeah.
on like my top concern list.
Definitely, yeah. Because with a lot of like, I know it could sound stupid, but it's pretty valuable to me right now. There's a whole scandal with Subway about their like tuna being not tuna, which it's the only reason it's valuable to me is because I think like that if it's really fake tuna, which it's not, it's already been proven that it's not, but or that it's it's not fake tuna. That's what I'm getting at. It's not. It's real tuna from real fish, right? So it's already been proven that it's real fish, and this is only valuable to me because I really care about what like other people and like if they have a certain diet, I don't want them being fed these lies about certain food items just to eat something that their culture is not allowed to eat or like they don't want to eat because they're like vegan or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it matters to me because I don't want people. I want to give people information that is gonna help them and make sure they're not making wrong decisions in their life.
I think that makes sense. Vaxon, I'm going to give you a couple minutes here if you want to speak your piece.
Hi. So
Hello.
I get my news mostly from my social studies class in school. Over the summer, Asia could disappear off the face of the planet, and I would not know for a month until somebody told me. Because I do not like going on the internet to find news because, as I posted in the chat, I read the statistic where 62% of articles posted on Twitter are things that people or articles that people have not read,
Yeah.
and could or probably do not mean what the person thought they meant or some other crap. And I don't the only social media I use is Twitch, Discord, and YouTube, which I do not even have an account on, solely because it's unhealthy for you, because they try to the companies that make these social media platforms, they try to, get you to keep on listening and listening and listening and listening, and it really affects your mood
Mhm.
and it locks you up in your room just listening to whatever people going on in your lives, people that you will never meet, and you could get misinformation.
I
Like,
have,
for
I clearly
example,
have two
somebody.
younger people here on my panel. So while I have you, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sure.
Do you trust your local newspaper to tell you the truth?
No.
I don't read the newspaper.
I
but-
No.
don't
I understand
like-
that you probably don't do this, but given a newspaper, if I put one in your hands, would you trust what was in there?
No, definitely not.
I would be
Definitely
skeptical,
not.
but
I
if,
grew
if
up
it's
with these
something
things,
you
so
can
I hold them at a different value than probably most young people. So this is why I'm asking these questions.
For me, I feel like the newspaper is like with certain companies like that are now mainly on like the internet or whatever, doing all that time and stuff, like New York Times, like a lot of that stuff like gives kind of false information, or like it's like with a lot of these, it's saying topics, right? It's telling people like what other people are saying, but a lot of it's also like, well, this may not be true, or this may like stuff like that. But it's like it's very misleading with some things that they do, and then other news articles and stuff like that on the internet that off of these things, like basically copy off of that, but are a lot shorter and give less information about what's really going on, and like, oh, it may not be true. Like, they don't say stuff like that. They don't say stuff like that's like very, like, it could vary right? Some of those don't say stuff like that. They only really say like the hot topic, the
Yeah.
what's really going on, so they can get all this traction.
Yeah, and I do want to announce, like obviously I know people really don't like get the newspaper anymore. I understand. I was trying to make a point because I have younger people here, but one thing that's really frightening me right now, at least here in the US, and I'd be confident that's probably happening in your area of the world too, is consolidation of media. And here in the US in particular, we have two companies. One is Clear Channel and the other is I can't think of the other one, but there's two in particular, and they're buying all local newspapers. Rupert Murdoch is one of them. He's bought The Sun. He's bought so many other newspapers, and they just basically echo his concerns. So Jeff Bezos from Amazon has bought the Washington Post, and a lot of these newspapers are getting their direction from billionaires. They're just buying up all your local stations so they can tell you the same message no matter what you tune into.
Yeah, and it's like, for certain things, what do these billionaires know that we don't? You know what I mean? Like,
they know that they can manipulate you any way they want.
Yeah, definitely. It's like three, like basically now 3 billionaires. Like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are probably the biggest ones that are doing this. Like 3 billionaires are going out and doing their own space program and stuff like that, right? So what do they know about this Earth that we don't? Like, what information are they really telling us? Like, what part of the puzzle are they not telling us that we should be concerned about?
A conspiracy. I like this. I am a firm believer that the government should fund social media, and social media should be required to be nonprofit. We all need it. It changes our lives. In some cases, it gives us employment.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that it should be taken out of the hands, because this is essentially propaganda. And for those that don't know, I served almost 21 years in the military. And if you want to talk about propaganda, I have studied it very, very well. I lived in South Korea for 8 years and focused on North Korean propaganda. And
well, from what I've heard is like a lot of things are just like with like Google, which I think it's like Google search exactly, but they're trying to go for like, they're trying to put only websites that are actually valuable information and are giving out true information, which obviously you can't do that immediately. They're working on it. So, but that's definitely going to make searching on the internet a lot better for true information.
There's too many bad reasons to run a social media company, right? I think we've seen this with Parler. I think we've seen this with Gitter, right? All they're copying basically Twitter and Facebook, and they're just using it as a propaganda tool and collecting data on people. And I don't know. I just think that we're in a really bad spot, and this is probably like a much larger conversation to have in a future episode. But it's dangerous out there. All right, guys, I'm going to give you 1 minute each to make any last points that you want. And then I think we're going to start heading towards the road of wrapping this up.
All right.
So when you were asking me what I would think of a newspaper, is that I would be skeptical about what they say because, the newspaper is trying to promote itself and giving information about the hot topics. Or, for instance, there was this New York Times article about Subway's fish not being tuna. And it was extremely loose, and it was like only on 5 types of tuna.
Yeah.
And they were tuna that was cooked, so the DNA sample was like really, really, unreliable. And they were just trying to bring up this old topic about these people who sued Subway for not having real tuna in their fish. And they were just trying to, feed off this controversy that was happening in the world. And they were trying to juice all the milk they could out of it so that they could feed you information that was either correct or incorrect, but information nonetheless. So they could promote themselves and get money off of you reading these articles, so they could feed you new articles and feed you new articles.
Absolutely.
You
We
keep on
need those
reading,
clicks.
And yeah.
Well, thank you, Vax, and I
Yep.
appreciate that input. I'll move you to the audience, and I'll let Lockable have his 1 minute. And again, thank you very much for participating. Lockable, it's your time to
Yep.
shine, baby. Let's go.
So right there, I feel like we're definitely getting our information from similar places there, because definitely with like this whole tuna propaganda, it's like it's all like false at this point. Like you can't really trust anyone except for the people who've been trustworthy for all these years, because like the New York Times and stuff like that, they're just trying to promote themselves and give themselves traction so they can make more money. And that's the whole like gist of it, of what they're doing. And they're trying to take down these big companies so they can have their time, so they can make their money and walk away with billions of dollars in the end of the day.
That's probably a pretty fair assessment right there. And that comes from our younger generations. So everything you guys just heard was from the people that are coming up that will be adults soon, that potentially will be passing laws. Who knows? Lockable?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on, and I'll definitely be there for all these other podcasts that's gonna go on.
Well, I appreciate that too. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, peace out.
I like it. I am so glad that you guys felt comfortable enough to come onto the stage with me, to be immortalized on my YouTube channel as guests. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. News is a very iffy thing. We've heard about fake news for the last like 4.5 years, 5 years, and it's been very tragic. To think all news is not worthy hurts us on such a larger level. Fake news should be taken out of business. If you can absolutely prove that the news that you are getting is false, or if it's spun in a way that is damaging, I think you should be removed from the air, which also means I think Fox News should be deleted. 40 years from now, when I become a billionaire, I will show this. Yes, please do. Please do. It'd be like everything he said is the same thing that I just did. I really like this. I'm going to give you my send out, basically. I want to recap of what we just talked about. We just talked about so much stuff. Everything from COVID numbers. Put your mask on, by the way. Even if you're fully vaxxed, please, please, please put your mask back on. Stay safe out there. Even if you're vaccinated, you have a small chance that you can still catch the Delta. You may not die from it, but do you need it? You don't need it. I'm vaxxed too. I'm fully vaxxed. And 2 weeks ago, I put my mask back on. The Delta is nothing to mess with. I just want you guys to stay safe. I don't want anybody to have to go through some shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just want us all to make it to the other side. And not this early. So there is that. I think Critically Unjacked is a good opportunity for us to do this. And I love having a stage and invite people in and out and having that conversation. Oh, you are vaxxed. Yeah, that's true too. We'll go get you vaccinations as soon as you can. I think the stage is a very powerful tool for this kind of format. And I do want to leverage it. I also want to leverage it on Unjacked After Dark. So I will also be in the stage this evening for that. I want to thank everybody for participating today. I thank you for coming out and supporting this effort. It's easier for me to go play Among Us. It's easier for me to go play Balloons. It's even easier for me to go play Goose Goose Duck and have 40 or 50 people watching me concurrently. But I feel like there's value in doing this. I feel like even though I'm not going to hit my pinnacles of numbers and engagement and having people having fun, I feel like this adds value. If I can change or inform a handful of people every time I do this versus laughing and telling you a dick joke and Goose Goose Duck when we're running around, I feel like I can sleep better at night. I want to produce something that is valuable and of interest to people. I appreciate you too. What's up, Captain? Good to see you. Due to the time, no, and that's okay. That is okay. That's why I'm giving you 2 different shows that you can at least pick one to be there. And I appreciate that. So I don't get cooked. Yeah, that too, right? This is a special opportunity. And as long as you guys show up, as long as people come up and say, Unjacked, I want more of that, I will continue doing this. In the future, if I feel like I have not accomplished my goals, I have not provided entertainment, that I have not given you a show worthy of watching again, then maybe we'll look at ending this and just doing gaming, but I hope not. This is what I want to be. I want to be a world-class podcaster. I want you to turn on your TV and go to my YouTube channel and watch my episodes of podcasts because they're interesting. I want you to come on to the show live on Twitch and give me your thoughts. I would do this 1,000 times more than I would play any game. Games are okay. They're mechanical. They allow you to get lost in the moment. They're needed. But this right here is what I want to do. You can watch anybody play a game. Yeah, I want to be a video podcaster, but I also plan on stripping this audio out and putting it out for people that want to listen on their way to work or something like that. So this will have 2 folds for sure. Gaming is to get in new people, the podcast to get them to stay. Maybe. I mean, everybody has a different expectation from me. Sometimes I'll read the chat and somebody will be like, oh, Jack, do you ever play balloons? I'm unfollowing. Like, dude, I'll get there. All right. Like life is a journey, dude. Like, I'm not going to play one game every single day, just like I'm not going to do this podcast every single day. I want you guys to show up and have different expectations. I want you to have variety and be like, yo, I'm tuning in on Mondays. Mondays with Unjacked is super great. You know, or like, you know, maybe it's Thursdays. We still play balloons. We still do all that stuff. We just don't do it every day anymore. We try to do variety to keep it interesting. Because if I do the same thing every day, I'm afraid that I'm not going to want to come here anymore. I'm afraid that I'm not going to show up and I'm not going to hit the start stream button. And I don't want that to happen. I want to be here always. So just know when you guys show up, it makes my day. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. A lot of you guys, it's very possible to get famous. Like take somebody like Yeti Apocalypse, right? Is that him? He was Ludwig's moderator. Like some of my moderators, my admins could very well, if I ever got famous, the people that I'm surrounded with will probably get some of that too. Plastic Rebel's a good point. If somehow tomorrow I blew up, he would be able to use my name and tell people all the time, be like, yo, I play with Unjacked all the time. And vice versa, by the way. If he gets super famous, I'm like, yo, Plastic Rebel, yeah, we're like cousins. And blood brothers too. We've even cut our fingers and did all that too. I'm gonna take full advantage of it. Dude, if I was like PewDiePie's cousin, I'd be maximizing my stuff. Every title of mine would be like cousin PewDiePie. I want streams to be very special, but I also want to create content that you'd want to watch in the future as well. Yeah, absolutely. So guys, again, thank you for being here. I actually need, I'm going to take 2 more minutes and just kind of talk a little piece. I do like raiding people. I do. The problem is I want to raid people doing the same things that I'm doing. So when you're done with my show, I can bring you over to their show and you can continuously get the same content. My issue is I don't know anybody on Twitch in this category. I'm going to learn who those people are, but as of today, I have no one to raid and I feel super bad. Hold on, let me see. Nobody in my follow list is doing just chatting. Nobody. I need to go find some more people because I don't know. Hold on one second. Does anybody have any suggestions? Is there anybody that would like kind of like be very similar to me? All right. Who do we raid? We got Mod Talk. Who audit? Yo, Cannabis in Combat. Wait a minute. I see. This is the problem. This is the problem. I'm so afraid to raid somebody Because like this guy right here, forced vaccinations. I think he's a veteran, but at the same time, like, what if he has different opposing views of mine and I'm raiding into a conservative channel? That to me is not enticing. Let me look real quick. No, actually, I think we do this. Will you guys raid with me? We're going to raid cannabis and combat. Would you guys do that with me, please? I would like to check this guy out if I can. Hold on. Is he not live? Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. You'll raid with me if you have to. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go and raid this guy. I want to see what it's about. It looks like he's a veteran. Looks like he has oh no. Dude, I'm so afraid. Trump won 30%. Nope. Cancel.
Guys, this is going to be like a division of two different Americas, probably. There's going to be the red states and the blue states.
All right, we're out.
New mass guidance